Hello, everybody. Just doing some clever stuff. We've got an interesting one today. What I quite like about today's one is it's not my investigation, but we did have a file on Ed, or otherwise known as Eddie Zimbardi, and one of our colleagues, Brandon Williams from BehindMLM, actually had done a major investigation into this guy, and Ed decided it was a good idea to go to Fiji and never return. Anyway, the Fijians decided to help the US government expedite him back home, which is the exciting part of what we're doing. And what I'm doing at the moment is I'm trying to get myself into another meeting. I thought we'd have a quick look at some Zoom meetings. We had a good fun day yesterday, storming into a few meetings, which has instigated a few different investigations. And Nev's the first guy in the room today, which is actually fantastic. I don't get too distracted, but there's some good things that happen when I first go live. I try to go live at 7 o'clock around the world, most places that we storm into. And I just want to have a wee look around some of the Zoom meetings before we get started in today's presentation on Ed. But as we have what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get myself ready for a Zoom meeting, and I'm going to give you an update on some of the stuff that we've just done. But I have got the Zoom meetings, so there we go. So that's what I wanted. I wanted a name where I can go in and stealthily wait for a presentation to start, and that's what I've just done. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty, so what happened yesterday is probably a better question. I want to show you what happened yesterday. So much stuff has come in overnight, and we've got so many investigations going that, yeah, I know we're a bit surprised as well. I don't even know where to start really today. I probably want to start from yesterday's YouTube video. I'll just flip into the screen that I'm hoping will pop up, and it did. Yesterday's video, I just finished doing the timestamps for. If you go to my YouTube channel and you click on the live section here, you can actually see the lives that we've got coming up. And obviously we've started this one here today. We've got 5 others planned coming up each day, each week. Yesterday we stormed in and did
more serious
an investigation
about the business
of these individuals who are from, what are they called? I've forgotten the name of it now. Legal Shield. And we had a bit of fun storming into a couple of their Zoom meetings because they must do it their Sunday night, my Monday. So I've just been putting together timestamps. Now, if you didn't see what I just did then, most of my live streams do go on for a bit of a time. If I get some good stuff, I chop it up into individual videos and republish them. And some funny things happened yesterday that I didn't want to lose. So when people ask me, do I have any information on Dr. Steve from like Celerium Life, I can go, yes, I do. And I can quickly go to the timestamp and share a specific timestamp. So if you look here, you can actually see we actually have Professor Roberts, Dr. Steve, and you can click on that and you can get the actual link. So if I put that in the chat room, you guys can literally, click on that link and that will take you to that exact part of that video. So if I come in here now,
let me explain to you what this event's all about.
I think we
are going to be addressing and improving every area
and I haven't
of
got
our
the
lives.
timestamp quite right.
We're going to be helping you, of course, build your Legal Shield business bigger and faster.
Might be a thing, guys.
This meeting is being
At least
recorded.
we're doing it with purpose. And I often say we do it, for scalability,
So,
for compliancy, longevity,
stumbled
right?
into a
These are all
meeting
the things
with
that are important
Dr.
to
Steve,
make a company great in the direction of what we're moving as a community.
and
But we
in
got to stick
time, you'll
as a
see
community.
that
That's what I'm
he.
saying,
Okay, so this is a scam called
community
Celerium Life.
is only strong. You guys have heard it said, right? Divided we fall, united we stand, right? And united as a community.
So this guy was talking away
Each other, because
to his
I'm waiting for the
community.
day. I already envision it. Like I said, you guys going to be,
and
earning.
then all of a sudden I got
right?
kicked out.
So much that eventually we're going to have like a separate club from the club, that the ones who want to be part of this club, meaning that one of the requirements will be like give $5 a month. That's like That's your membership to this
This
club,
meeting is being
right? At
recorded.
$5 a month, everybody's going to give, 10,000 strong, 50,000 strong,
So he's
100,000
got his
strong.
hands in the air at
But
the
then
moment,
that
all right?
money
I'm trying to
that
figure
we
out
collect
how he
as a
figured out
group,
it was me.
we're going to do great things with it, guys. Think about it. I mean, we're contributing as a society or community and raising, hundreds of millions of dollars. Think
Here
about
we
the impact
go.
we could make in
We
humanity.
certainly
And I
are.
love
I
Stumbling
don't
into
feel
Zoom
like
meetings like
there's
this.
any
Here he is.
reason, that anyone should have to.
Look at that. He's just seen me and then he's
Cool.
kicked me out. I've been removed. So that was yesterday's. Anyway, so after that, I put together all the timestamps that the things that happened in the meeting, and it was quite a eventful meeting. We also had we found Brian and we found, is it Mara Alexiou, whatever her name is. Let's see if I can get that right.
Mara Alexandru.
Mara Alexandru. What a friggin' unusual name. Anyway, they come into the chat room. Well, Mara did come into the chat room, and then we found that her name, and we found his name.
More serious about the
Um,
business,
we
then
found
I
the
would
guy.
take it more seriously. If you
We found the guy behind Legal Shield. Now, most people will say to me, "Oh, Legal Shield isn't a scam," and I'm going, "Well, they're promoting multi-level marketing. They claim that it's a business. They claim that you can make a lot of money out of it. But the reality is, unless you have a massive network behind you and they just blindly do everything that you do, like Simon says, you're never going to make the money out of it." And other people like Always Marco, he's always, talked about multi-level marketing. So technically speaking, Legal Shield isn't really a scam. But when you investigate Legal Shield and what they're actually offering, I'm calling it a scam because they have so many disclaimers and so many things that you can't actually do. It's like selling an insurance that you can never really actually rely on if you got yourself legally, in the shit, so to speak. So I don't think that's ethical, and I will name and shame anyone running or promoting unethical practices. It doesn't necessarily have to be illegal. I have no time for multi-level marketing. I don't care if you think it's the best thing since sliced bread at marketing your product. I just don't care because it's not. It's bullshit. If your product's so good that you need to recruit people. So this whole video that we saw here was a lady in here, Elizabeth Gardner. I don't know who she is. But then we had, I don't know, all these names that we got in here. I'm actually looking for the ladies' names. Anyway, so what actually finished up happening, I'll just bring this off the screen. And this is what I normally do in the morning before I get started my morning, that is. So I'm just going to go through the whole process here. But we've got Celerium Life. I go into the founder and I find Steve and I find a couple of photos of him. And also then I find other clips that what I've already done. BehindMLM is, painted the whole history of this guy right back to Pay to Save Network back in 2013. And then you've got his new startup 2023. And then you go to this one here, which is 2010. So this guy here has got a whole history of multi-level marketing, and now he's promoting his own, what I'm going to call Ponzi scheme, where he's using white labeled services. So, the first thing I do is I go to the founder, I go to Steve, I find his name, and I think, have I done, this might sound a bit bad, but have I done an article about him? So then I search for him, and when I searched for him this morning, I found nothing with Dr. Steve, and I've only found that I've actually only done one article on him. So then I thought, well, let's do a song. So now we've got a song.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the apostle, the entrepreneur, the software developer, the doctor. Wait. Doctor of what?
So I'm having a lot of fun with these short songs at the moment. So then I went through the whole article that I wrote about Celerium, and I also decided that we needed to add a new section in here about Dr. Steve, because when you search for him, I haven't really done a good job. And obviously now we've found out more information about him. and the like, and also BehindMLM's gone to town on them. So I've just added that new section onto my blog. Now that's kind of, I don't know, stroking my own ego is a good way of doing it, but I'm actually really proud of my blog and also the information that we have. And we have a living blog, so everything that we publish isn't set in concrete. We will update it and give you guys the latest information. So when people get on the internet and they obviously search for Celerium Life, is it a scam or is it real? We like to think that we come up, look at that, me and BehindMLM right in the very top here. So Celerium Life reviewed, exposed, scam, whatever. And the last article I did was the first of, I don't even know when that article is. And also you can actually see all the other news. So when people are doing their research, rather than sticking their head inside a Zoom meeting, it would be awesome to know how many people actually do other research than just sticking their nose into into Zoom and believe everything they get told. Hello, Barbs. Nice to see you here as well. Barb NB. So this is how it works, guys. If I go Celerium and I type in the word life, somebody might be searching and doing some research on that. First thing that's going to pop up, if it's searched on enough, is scam and legit. Now, if you literally go there into Google and you search for Celerium Life and you see that and you click on it, this is actually logged by YouTube, and then it will come up at the top when people search. If you come down here, you can see the people can't log in, so they've searched for login. Marketing, business, sign up, app, Reddit, logo. So I'm the person that's always searching for logos. So if more than 10 people search for those phrases, they rank them in, and I think the first two might even be on my browser history. So the first one that we really want to click on is Celerium reviews. And when you click on that, you can see that now Google Gemini basically gives a bit of a breakdown on him. And then we still rank in the top 4. So we've done a bloody good job. And it's really exciting. So if I clicked on this link here, you'll see that my website's currently getting a denial server attack. I took the protection off the other day and I'm still getting attacked. Every time I take it off, I'm hammered. Anyway, what I'm getting at, if somebody searches now for Dr. Steve, hopefully they might wonder who this guy is. And if we search for him, we're still going to find his, YouTube and Facebook page coming up. And hopefully somewhere in here, we find his LinkedIn, we find his Instagram, and now we have Dr. Steve exposed, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's how we work. Now, if I go to the next thing that we're investigating, I've got a couple of really cool investigations going at the moment. My lawyer actually reached out to me. Now, I was sued in the New Zealand High Court. Well, somebody was trying to sue me in the New Zealand High Court for $3.8 million claiming defamation. And so when your lawyers who charge $800 an hour reach out to you and they say, have you seen this academic article? So there was a university study done on my court case, and they unfortunately don't use my name and they don't use the court case. But if you go to number 4, and I already knew this was out, but my lawyers obviously caught his eye. And here they talk about my lawsuit and basically what it meant at the time.
Claimed he concerned a series of online videos produced by a New Zealand-based content creator who specialized in exposing fraudulent investment schemes. Although he had incorporated a company to publish his work, he operated as a one-person enterprise with limited journalistic training and no institutional backing. The videos focused on a digital asset aggressively promoted online. They questioned the asset's marketing tactics, referral incentives, centralized control, and raised concerns about its governance, regulatory.
Yeah. So what actually happened, they talk about the whole breakdown of it, which is really, really cool. And then they've actually now published other information for slaps. And what they're literally trying to do here in New Zealand is, I'm going to put that in the chat room for Susie to have a look at actually, is, and I might publish an article about that. It might take another couple of 3 hours of my life, but it's talking about slaps in New Zealand. And a slap is where they basically, people with more money than you try to stop you from talking by threatening legal action.
A slap is not a case you lose, but one that nobody ever gets to win. The point is the legal process rather than the merit of the case. The letter, the interlocutory application, the costs order, the settlement, New Zealand has no anti-slap law, and the Defamation Act 1992 is substantively unchanged since it was passed. Damage is presumed, the burden sits with the defendant. The multiple publication rule means anything readable here is published here, and the only real filter is a strikeout application the defendant has to fund, Mark Hanna's new study screened 218, reported judgments from 2014 to 2024, and found 4 likely slappies. 3 had foreign plaintiffs with thin local connections. 3 targeted citizen journalists or small publishers. All 4 were defamation claims, Lawfuel is claim B.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. So Mark is the guy that actually did the investigation, and you can read his article here, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's really cool. So that's lawfuel.com. And obviously here, they might even talk about my case. I haven't read this yet.
Mark Hanna, senior lecturer in private law at Canterbury, pictured below, has published the first proper socio-legal study of strategic lawsuits against public participation in New Zealand, in the Journal of Media Law in May. He screened 218 reported judgments from 2014 to 2024, adding interviews, official records and pre-action correspondence. 4 survived as more likely than not to display slap characteristics, under 2%, which sounds reassuring until you read them. 3 had foreign plaintiffs with tenuous local connections. 3 targeted citizen journalists or small publishers, like Lawfuel. Mark Hanna Lawfuel. Hanna anonymized all 4, partly because one carries a live non-publication order, partly because New Zealand gives academics no statutory protection when they write about people who sue.
So the stupid thing here, if you're looking at my perspective, 1, because it carries a live non-publication order. How friggin' ridiculous is that? So my case is the one they're talking about. They are not allowed to publicize the findings of it when an American scammer has tried to throw a $3.5 million lawsuit against me. And now the courts say that they're not allowed to publicize the findings of it. So they have to, if you go back to the article here, you can see that I am now claim D. I mean, why is it so? Not only have we got no laws against anti-slaps, we've now got the judges suppressing the information so they can't tell the story to create awareness. It's just ridiculous. So I'm not going to read all this, but I just thought I'd say that there's many layers of stuff that goes on, and in here they don't mention my name because they're not allowed to. But when your lawyer reaches out to you asking you if you've seen this article, it must be quite a big thing in lawyer world, which I'm quite proud of. And then we're like the unsung heroes in a way that maybe the law will change one day and we will have a part of it for what we do. So that was my other things that I received this morning in my email, which is quite exciting. And to be honest, because it's now 12 o'clock, I haven't had a chance to actually follow everything. And there's more mail. Hopefully my assistant might do my emails before I see what's happening. So the big investigation is I'm getting cooked into my emails now. Where that recently shared plans, new medical centre. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I need to actually urgently look at before I get stuck into a couple of hours of looking at this Eddie guy. So, what have we got here, guys? Eddie. I need to come up with an introduction on Eddie. I don't know Ed from a bar of soap. So when I went to my database, I went to my database here and I typed in Ed and I clicked on this button here and I went, oh my God, I have got quite a bit on him. There was also the lawsuit. We've seen him in other correspondence in the past. I don't even know if these are still active.
Offering. You select one of those campaigns and you purchase a media package.
Yeah, so that's actually on Ponzi Patrols. And I'm sitting here to myself going, oh, wow, this guy's actually got, I've got a file on this guy. The name does ring a bell. But the honest truth of it is I don't even know who the hell he is, really. And then you start researching and you go down rabbit holes and you think this isn't really my investigation. But in saying that, we've got a guy who is one of our Avengers and we've got access to him and he chats to us and we share intel back and forth. And this was his big moment, man. And I don't mean that because when I found out that Christopher Delgado had been charged by the federal government for running a $328 million Ponzi scheme. I just remember that sudden rush of thinking, I'm right. We've pulled one out. We've actually got some action. We've got the legal stuff actually taking place, and that's what's really exciting. So I'm just going to, so this video is dedicated to all the hard work that all the Avengers do, including people like Brandon Williams, because it is unsung hero stuff. And when you realize, what they actually, are fighting against. So yesterday, I just briefly showed you about a guy that's training network marketers to attract more prospects and enroll more team members. I mean, what a piece of shit this guy is. I mean, okay, so you're thinking, well, what's that really got to do with stuff? Now, remember, I just showed you this, and we come into, let's see if I've got it. 1 minute. Legal Shield. Okay, so I go to Legal Shield, right? And I find marketers, and I find this guy. And he's a happy fella. He's just, beautiful, isn't he? He's got a big smile on his face. But then when you go to his website, you see him, Top Gun Network Marketing Trainer. And here he is, successful entrepreneurs aren't born, they are built. And, and people go, why do you not like, network marketers, Dan? And I go, well, here's a guy that's training network marketers to attract more prospects and enroll more team members. And then you go to this guy and you're going, wow, this guy's doing the same activity. Over 25 million in earnings, team payers over 850 million, 2 million customers, more than 1,900 personal recruits. Oh, he's just the man. And then you look at this guy and you're thinking, are we lining up apples with apples? And look, here we go. Here's a lovely wee quote.
Living the dream is easier with the right team players. Ed had the entrepreneurial bug early on. He was not afraid to work. Ed and Brenda invite you to learn more about how they assist you to reach your personal, business and lifelong goals. See if you are a good fit to work directly with them by clicking here.
See if you are a good fit to work with them. So then you search for this lovely guy that is, marketing a legitimate company. Everyone's going to say that Legal Shield's legitimate. And I go, yeah, but the people is what we look at. The people are what we look at. So you come in here and you look at the CTFC and you notice there's a big write-up here about Traders Domain. And Oz, another unsung hero. You come through here and you read all about it. And what are we looking for here? Well, we're looking for a connection. And look, here's a list. So what we've got here, here's the full list. So John here is a full list. And here's a list of people who I believe have been associated with Traders Domain. And you can basically go through here and look at all the top multi-level marketers and what they do. If we went through and found out every name in here, I'm pretty sure we would find they're all associated with something shady. And, you know, like this guy here might have started off as, you know, a Grant Cardone. He might have started off as a Patrick B. David. He might have started off as, I've forgotten the other ones, but they're all the same in my opinion. They're just multi-level marketers, rah-rah people who are out there saying how successful they are, you know, coming up with outrageous claims that they probably no one can ever back up. Successful entrepreneurs aren't born, they are built. So what are these people training other people to do? They're alleging that they're doing really, really well in life, in the universe, and they are somebodies who can tell you what you should be. So I'm entrepreneurial. I have been working for myself for 30 years. I love doing startups. I actually call myself a serial entrepreneur, where I start up little side hustles and I sell them on the side, you know? So right now, if I went to Fitness Zone, this is a website that's all ready to go. And it's basically selling fitness products. I have a collection of different products. I sell products, and this is a side hustle. And I could sell this to anybody. It's around about $6,000 or $7,000 to buy this as a website. It's got products in it. I've got the suppliers. When you sell a product for $42, if that pricing isn't quite right, but let's just say that price is $42, $20 of that money will go into your back pocket. And when you get up to around about $1,000 worth of sales a month, you won't have any costs other than profit. And not only that, I've had we've had 6 or 7 websites of our own that we've built up, and I've been doing drop shipping for years, over 20 years. I used to have an electronic shop. I built up and I sold that off as a going concern. I just recently sold a TV remote store. It was doing about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of sales a month, and the new owner's had it now probably for about 6 months, and he's running it. This website here, I set this up for an individual who has his own business, and he got tired of adding products into it. So he's actually asked me to resell it because he hasn't got time for it. So it's an opportunity. It's had about $1,200 worth of sales, which isn't much because somebody's been using it and not really marketing it. So I teach people how to do drop shipping. I teach them, I show them where our suppliers are from. We've set up the website, made it look beautiful. We've already loaded it with products. We encourage the people to load it up with 1,000 products. There's currently, I don't know exactly, I'm guessing 200 products in here. So this is a ready to go little wee side hustle that I could sell some. Actually, I lied. There's 81 products because the person that bought it loaded a whole lot of silly products that I wouldn't have recommended them loading, and I've literally stripped them all back and put it back to how it was. Normally, when we sell these off, we normally set them up with 50 products, and then we tell them to find like-minded products and grow like mold. But some people get this in here and they think this is going to be their future business. And I go, no, this is just a side hustle. This will bring in an extra couple $100 a week. And you'll have to process orders. It will take about 5 minutes to process orders. You're not going to get an order every day. But my TV remote store, I used to get 5 orders a day. And I'm a machine on the internet. So I could process 5 orders a day, and I could actually literally make, let's work that out about right. So I'd make about $150 a day profit from processing 5 orders a day. Now, every now and again, I'd sit there and I'd work like a beaver and I'd add 50 new TV remotes. In this case, I would add 50 new products every week, and I'd work diligently for doing that for 6 months. And you do the maths on that, you're going to build up to about 1,000 products. When you get 1,000 products in a shop like this, it starts to feed itself. And we do pay for some advertising. We pay $5 a day, but that's all we've ever paid ever. Some people are very good in Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing or TikTok marketing. I've never done it. So there's room for other marketing techniques here. But this is an honest, side hustle that somebody could purchase. It's already set up. I'm going to teach them everything. And it costs them, New Zealand dollars around about, I forget exactly, but I think it's $7,000. And it's a great wee opportunity for somebody. Okay. So that's what I do. Now, I've literally sold probably about $3 or $4 million worth of products in total. Profit, probably about, 1.4 million. Divided that over 20 years. And people criticize me because I've got one person criticize me because I'm not accurate with my figures, but my figures actually can be backed up by what I've done and also my claims. I'm not, You don't see me advertising that you can make $1 million a year from doing drop shipping. You don't see me putting $25 million worth of potential sales can be made from this one website. Well, outrageous claims. I don't do it. I just tell people the truth. Now, am I any good at sales? Not really. People do. Have I got a queue of people ready to buy my drop shipping businesses? No. Have I sold a few? Well, we've probably sold between my business partner and I. Probably sold 20 drop shipping websites in the last 2 years, and that's how I fund what I do. But I like it because the concept's great. It basically gives me a passive income opportunity. When I say passive income means you don't really do anything for your work. Well, I'm not doing that. You need to work it. And I work it. And I've managed to keep my YouTube channel going and myself going financially by doing drop shipping. So that's a job that you can do online, right? And you can spend 80% of your time, or 90% of your time busting criminals online, which doesn't make me any real money. But I sustain myself by doing drop shipping. And it frees up a lot of my time so I can spend most of my time, going through and finding people online. When I start going after these people who, this guy here, for example, I'm not saying he's a crook, but look, he's with Tony Roberts, Grant Cardone, I don't even know these, Richard Branson. And what do you think he's doing here? Is he friends with these guys? Or has he stolen a photo with them to say that he's associated with them? Or has he gone to their events? And, what is he trying to, tell you with these images? Is he trying to tell you that he's successful? Is he trying to tell you he's somebody? Or is he somebody? Or do we just don't care who he is? I don't care anything about this guy. So this guy, when he talks in a Zoom meeting illegally, so yesterday when we found this guy in a Zoom meeting, wherever that was, here talking.
You want your team to be serious? You be serious.
Yeah.
All right. So Elizabeth, let me throw it over to you. One last thing I do want to.
So if this guy was that damn successful, would he be inside a Zoom meeting using it against their user terms and conditions? I don't know if you realize that, but if you did trundle off to my website, deheck.com, and you went to the contact us page, and you went to Zoom Patrol, and you've got me there yelling my head off in front of all these people using Zooms, and then we go to the acceptable user guidelines, and it says in here that you're not allowed to use Zoom for multi-level marketing. It says unauthorized. So there's the big question there, unauthorized. Well, I don't know if Project Shield is authorized, and that's true. But if you are authorized, it would be a good idea to prove that, because at the moment, Zoom's user policies are telling me that multi-level marketing businesses are not allowed to use their services to promote multi-level marketing. And as far as I'm concerned, Legal Shield might be a legitimate business, but the multi-level marketing is breaking the terms and conditions of Zoom, and you shouldn't be using it. And if they don't enforce it, I used to enforce it for them. Eventually, Zoom decided it was just easier to shut down Danny's Zoom account. And put it in perspective, if I go into here, we've got people all day long using Zoom to promote their businesses, which is absolutely batshit crazy. So I'm just going to start up a couple of those, and we might stumble across a meeting. Who really knows? But I think it's disgusting, that these people do that. And we also did have one other one, which I won't get distracted, I promise. We did have a Zoom meeting. I saw Bob actually had a new link, which might actually be relevant to us. So let's have a wee look here. Zoom survival, and I'll just make sure he hasn't got a new Zoom meeting link that we could actually monitor while we're doing our live today. So here's one. So if you have any Zoom links, you can actually go to deheck.com, hold your mouse over the contact us button, and I'm not signing up for that one, but thank you very much. What else have we got here? We've got Zooms, Avenger Zooms, Truth. I'll just make sure, I'll just put Zoom in there. I've got a few screens, if you probably figured out. We've got one here. I think that's the same one. Yep. All right. So we've got, if there's any more Zoom meetings, my Avengers, just chuck them in the Zoom thing. If you've got anything that you want me to go into now, let me know. We've got a cut and paste. And survival. That that's pretty cool. Alrighty, so let's see if we can start this. First of all, before I get going, I need to go back to our original investigation here, which is Ed. I need to ask for a bit of help now, and we need to go to Ed, which I think we put him here, and there he is there. Right. A couple of things I would really appreciate. First of all, I need a short, precise introduction to introduce the blog we're about to read. Right. And I'm not going to read the whole lot, but I'm going to try and do something a little bit different. There's always a connection. Cycle's always, that's true, Suze. Oh, that's too brief. That's too brief. That's too brief, and it doesn't look very exciting. Okay, I like to talk to ChatGPT. ChatGPT really loves me, but sometimes it's a story behind it. Right, that looks a bit more realistic. So let's put that in a nice little wee area for me where I can read it. If this comes down to, I'm going to listen to it for a bit.
If this does come down to litigation, and it comes down to putting people in jail, I think that I'm talking to the person that they'll be talking to. Those were the words Brandon Williams of Ponzi Patrol put directly to Ed Zimbardi in March 2023. Zimbardi's response was simple: that remains to be seen. Well, more than 3 years later, Zimbardi has been deported from Fiji back to the United States, where he now faces serious federal wire fraud and money laundering charges connected to what prosecutors allege was a $165 million CryptoProgram Ponzi scheme, involving thousands of investors. But what makes this investigation fascinating isn't simply the arrest, it's what happened before it. Brandon spent years following the wallets, confronting Zimbardi, interviewing victims and warning people about what he believed was happening. Oz at BehindMLM was documenting the same operation from another direction, following the regulatory warnings, rebrands, offshore connections.
Oh, I think we're pretty good on that one. Pixel, shut up. Hey, I can hear you. Everyone can hear you on the internet. You're not a YouTube dog. Sometimes you just got to put him back in his place. Pixel, come here. I'll pick him up. My back's too sore. Alrighty, so let's get stuck into it. Is there anything else I've missed? I hope not. Hello, I'm Danny the Heck. Welcome to the live stream. This was recorded on a live stream today. I've got an interesting investigation. This is not my investigation, but it has been one that I have been following with my Avengers for some time, and we've had a good outcome, and we want to share it with you. This is amazing. This is a scammer that has now been deported. So listen up and let me tell you about Ed. What have we got? Ed Zimbardi. The quote: if this comes down to litigation and it comes down to putting people in jail, I think that I'm talking to the person that they would probably be talking to. Those are the words from Brandon Williams of Ponzi Patrol. You may have seen him in our chat room from time to time, and he is one of our Avengers. That question, that quote that I just read was put directly to Ed Zimbardi on March 2023, yes, 3 years ago. Zimbardi's response was simple: that remains to be seen. Well, more than 3 years later, Zimbardi had been deported from Fiji, which isn't too far away from little old New Zealand, back to the United States, where he now faces serious wire fraud and money laundering charges connected to what prosecutors allege to be a $165 million CryptoProgram Ponzi scheme involving thousands of investors. I think from memory it was around about 6,000 investors. That is amazing. But what makes this investigation fascinating isn't simply the arrest, it's what happened before it. Brandon spent years following the wallets, confronting Zimbardi, interviewing victims, and warning people about what he believed was happening. Oz at BehindMLM was documenting the same operation from another direction, following the regulatory warnings, rebrands, offshore connections, and the trail that continued even after the crypto program collapsed. Now, here comes the back. I've now gone back through the history, including the material that I've seen gathered in my own files, and reconstructed the story from the original 25% monthly return claims through crypto programs, becoming to when they even started having withdrawal problems, wallet evidence, the collapse, the Netherlands, and eventually Fiji. And there's something particularly satisfying about reading this investigation today, because some of the questions Brandon was asking Ed face-to-face back in 2023 are now sitting in the centre of federal criminal case. So this is not just a story of an alleged 165 million Ponzi scheme. It's the story of the people that saw the warning signs, refused to shut up, and keep following the evidence until the law enforcement finally caught up. Now, a lot of people, even in our own investigations right now, are asking me questions about Christopher Delgado and Goliath Ventures. Now, I'm proud to say I was the original whistleblower of blowing that Ponzi scheme up. They even sent people to offer me $150,000 to stop reporting on it. They even staked out my neighborhood and sent people to my house and knocked on my door to offer me a better deal, that they wouldn't let me record on camera. So I said, no show. and then I yelled at them and walked them off my property, and the rest is history. But that scam has now gone up to $425 million in alleged Ponzi scheme. Well, it's not alleged Ponzi scheme. That's what's been lost by, we believe, maybe 1,500, 1,600 investors. We believe it could be 2,000 investors. And just the other day, things are evolving. For example, Christopher Delgado, not that this is about Christopher Delgado, in front of Channel 9 News, said that 99.9% of investors come from America. As the evidence unfolds, we've now found out there's an additional 274 investors from around the globe. And so this $165 million investigation may actually also grow. But we don't want to underestimate the mind power, the energy that people like Brandon Williams from Ponzi Patrol put into this. And just to show you briefly, these are all the videos here that he did on this one Ponzi scheme, trying to warn people like you who may think you know better. Now, I'm not going to read every part of this blog because it is a marathon. I've actually put, there's 17 different sections in here. But I am going to read the introduction. And the introduction is going to be pretty much the same as the verbal introduction I just gave you. But I want you to listen to this. If you've got any questions, put it in the chat box or put it in the comment section of this video. And please do make sure you hit the subscribe button. Apparently, they tell me to say things like 40% of people who watch my videos haven't subscribed. Please do subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and Google love me. And then they start sharing my content, and we can save more victims. So I'm going to read the start of this while I adjust my screen.
If this does come down to litigation, and it comes down to putting people in jail and those kind of things, I think that I'm talking to the person that they'll be talking to. It was March 2023, and Brandon Williams of Ponzi Patrol was sitting across from Ed Zimbardi in a marathon interview about something called the crypto program. Zimbardi was promoting an opportunity built around so-called media packages that could supposedly generate returns of up to 25% every month. Brandon wasn't buying the explanation. He challenged the mathematics, the anonymous people supposedly running the operation, Zimbardi's previous investment ventures, and, most importantly, where the money was actually coming from. Zimbardi's response to Brandon's prediction was short. That remains to be seen.
So it's amazing here. Just think about this, guys. Now,
Live, new. So, one note.
Shut up. If I told you that the sky was green, okay? And every day you woke up and I told you the sky was green, eventually, when somebody starts talking about the sky is green, you're just going to think the sky's green. You may even start looking at the blue sky thinking it's green in your brain, and it's not green, it's blue. Well, sometimes it's cloudy. But my point is, if you see something that says 25% per month, that's nearly 1% per day. How many of these opportunities and scams out there do you see where people are telling you they're getting 1, 2, 3% per day? Yeah, quite a few. And that becomes the new norm. People seem to think that 25% per month is normal. Now, all you need to do your own investigation is to get out your calculator. And you need to figure out that if you compound your money at 25% per month, at the end of the year, you are going to be rich. And that's too good to be true. And then you want to ask the question, where is the money actually coming from? And then you go and look at all their marketing stuff. And what do we see? We tell them 80% of their marketing stuff will be telling you to share it to your friends and family. Don't get used to this being normal. This is not normal. This is lies. This is a Ponzi scheme. New investors pay old investors. Old investors keep getting paid because they're the ones squawking about how good it is. You might think, oh, I wish I was a new investor, but these new investors are people that have been doing this for years. They get at the top of the pyramid. They're the marketers. They're the people that build up their communities, just like all these people out there who claim they're wearing suits that are too tight. They don't have socks, and they're driving these Lamborghinis that they don't own. These people are telling you that they're so damn successful that they need your money to keep investing in what they believe is the real deal. Now, their job is to build trust. So here's Brandon talking to the guy that's running, allegedly, a $165 million scam, who's eyeballing him, and he's basically saying if investors are ever going to talk to anybody, they'll be talking to you. And he says that remains to be seen. Well, more than 3 years later, I have seen quite a lot. After going through the investigations and the videos that Brandon has done and reading all the documents that Oz from BehindMLM has done, this is a real victory for people like the Avengers. Here we go. On the 14th of August, now you guys are different than us. We actually say the 14th of August 2026. In America, I know you go August the 14th, 2026. I don't know where we started driving on the left side of the road and you guys started driving on the right side of the road, but one day it would be nice to put everything back in the same place. And your dates are all up the what. So Fiji authorities, and I've been to Fiji 5 times. It's an amazing country. It's a beautiful place to live. It's the first time I went there, I just couldn't believe it was so close to New Zealand. So it's a lovely place for this animal, this bottom feeder, this marketing, this network genius to live while he's gobbling up everyone's money. Also, before we get into it, this guy here is also claiming that he was a victim. He was claiming that he was an investor. He didn't really know what was going on. Now he's been arrested as the main man behind the scene, which is quite exciting. So 14th of August 2026, authorities in Fiji deported Zimbardi. Ooh, that's what Susie said. I said that right. That's amazing. To the United States. They deported a guy. Isn't that great? The federal prosecutor urged, so you click on that. Oh, I did it again. Right, I'm going to fix this along the way because I don't like when I make mistakes. So you won't know what mistake I just made then, but we are going to fix that. Because we've got I'm going to read this while I fix my mistake. 1 second, please, caller.
On August 14th, 2026, authorities in Fiji deported Zimbardi to the United States. Federal prosecutors allege that the 59-year-old Georgia resident wasn't simply the master affiliate he portrayed himself as during that interview. They allege he created and promoted the CryptoProgram, secretly controlled cryptocurrency wallets into which thousands of investors sent more than $165 million, and operated the business as a Ponzi scheme.
So look at that. So here he is claiming that he was just an affiliate. How many times have we listened to these guys tell you that I'm not responsible for what the company does? Put your hand up, put a 7 in the chat room. Come on, guys. I mean, wake up. Wake up when you're listening to the next person sitting there telling you that he can give you 25% return per month, and he's telling you that he just works for the company. Love to tell you about an investigation that we're doing at the moment, but I won't. Zimbardi, how am I doing? Zimbardi now faces 12 counts. 12 counts. Get that right, Danny. 12 counts of wire fraud. 12 counts of money laundering. That's 24 naughty things. And 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. Now, why is that interesting to me? I'm going to tell you something that I am going to get a little bit off target here, but not too much. Now, recently we did another investigation about a guy that had been involved in a $380 million scam, and he had been charged for up to 20 years in prison. He pleaded guilty, as far as I'm concerned, and people are now saying to me, Christopher Delgado, oh, is he only going to get 20 years in prison? This is a $380 million Ponzi scheme, similar to Christopher Delgado's price. However, the difference here is this guy has only been charged with one count. Maximum jail sentence is 20 years. And Christopher has actually pleaded guilty to 3 charges, which adds up to potentially 50 years. This particular guy got 20, the maximum penalty was 20 years. That's what he's got in jail. Christopher's maximum penalty is 50 years. So when I'm reading this, and I'm reading 12 counts of wire fraud and 12 counts of money laundering and 1 count of, 12, was it wire fraud? I don't know the difference between 12 counts of wire fraud, 12 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. I don't know, that must be a different thing. So what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at 25 different things he could get a jail sentence for. Now, we know Murdoch got 150 years in prison. He also went after people's 401ks. And if you go after retirement money, I think you get charged up to 30 years per charge. So I don't know. But if I was a betting man and I went along to our favorite betting character and I went to look at here and I go to Zimbabwe. Now, in the blog, we have seen that he has been charged for, and then I've got that, what could he possibly, if found guilty for all charges, spend in prison? Okay.
Nina from Chicago.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good evening, Scotty, and all.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Evening, Scott.
Hey, hey, guys, how's it going?
We might just have a wee break here for a wee while.
Good evening, Scott. Bruce from
Hey, Scotty.
Texas.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, guys.
You already hit record?
No, I don't know what happened with that.
He said the election was perfect. He said there was no fraud.
Not recording.
Where's Happy Hank?
Hank is unavailable tonight. He is not with us tonight.
Yay!
Well, it's recording right now.
Jack manning the door?
I'm sitting in. I'm sitting in for Robin with Batman here.
Nice.
Jack's got
Where's your hat? Where's your hat? Where's your hat, Jack? Where's your hat? Scotty got his hat. Where's your hat, Jack?
10X, Jack. 10X, Jack. 10X.
Yeah. 11X.
11X. Yeah.
Why 10 when you could have 11, right?
Hey, let's go to 12.
Yes.
There we go. We'll just have a bit of fun here for a wee bit, guys.
We'll give it just a couple minutes, guys, and we'll
This
get rolling.
meeting is
Yeah, Hank
being
is
recorded.
he may check in, but he wasn't going to be able to facilitate with us tonight. He said if he can drop in, he will. But he said tell everybody hello. Hates to miss it, but he's got something. He's taking care of some personal business, which is a good thing.
Scotty, has it been discussed what the training is going to be tomorrow night?
We won't be for long.
It is going to be the 5
meeting is
best
being
reasons why
recorded.
you want to join Amway right now. Top 5 reasons why you want to join right now.
They're stable.
Yeah, no, what we're going to do tomorrow night, I'm not 100% sure. I'm waiting to see if I can get some information on a couple things.
Chat
But
disabled.
most likely we're going to dive a little further into the side of talking to employees about having this as a employee benefit savings plan for their employees.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, so people can, we'll definitely be doing that for sure for part of it. There may be another thing. I'm just waiting to hear back from Rick Orchard.
We'll cause a little bit of havoc in here if you don't mind.
Oh, I see what that was. Okay.
And people are playing with fire.
Yeah, guys, we're not going to be putting AI stuff on. It's for some reason it keeps messing with the It's messing with the Zoom. I don't know why. Hopefully they get that
This
stuff fixed
meeting
a little
is being
better.
recorded.
It's causing drag.
Both did an amazing thing. Let's see what happens next. Let's see. All right, next.
Got any background noise on, guys? Just go ahead and mute yourself.
Joint ventures are in 71 days.
Let's have a bit of fun here.
There we go. Awesome, awesome.
Okay, well.
One here. I was going to record tonight, but I'll probably either do one tomorrow on my own record or record Wednesday night. We got to, well, let me just say this. First off, if you're a guest, welcome. Great to have you here with us tonight. Glad that we have you here as a new person evaluating.
Glad to be here, mate. Glad to be here, Scotty. Good to see you here, mate. How you doing? You still running the scam, obviously?
Excellent.
You're still
Earl,
running
nice
the scam here? It's good that Hank's not here today. Stop
Nice
trying
to
to,
have you.
Scotty, have you still got that criminal conviction?
Nice to have you, Earl.
It's good, mate. Nice to have you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
How's Tiger Pay? How's Tiger Pay doing?
Yeah, how's Tiger Bay doing? How's Tiger Bay
Are they
doing?
holding your accounts, Scotty?
What about how's Transit Card? That didn't work for you. Multi-level marketing.
Let's get some
Bottom feeders. No, I've got to let you guys watch.
Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep Zoom bombing. Keep it up. All righty, guys. Sorry about that. We've got some criminals that are trying to cause problems for us. So hang tight, everybody. Appreciate y'all hanging tight. All right. There we go. Awesome, 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 guys. So what I was saying a little bit earlier is if you were on the call a little bit earlier today, well, first thing tonight, so what we're going to be sharing for those of you that are brand new guests, we're going to share with you information about NovaCast, a new streaming service that has just been introduced into the U.S. market and soon will be taken all around the world. Great to have you guys with us here tonight. Second thing we'll be talking about is if you know anybody or if you're involved with a charitable organization, if you know anybody that's a decision maker in a charitable organization, we're going to be talking about how we have something that could be a really significant benefit for those organizations. And then the third thing is, hey, if you're looking for something for yourself and you want to help us take this out to organizations, not only charitable organizations, but for-profit organizations, you'll see a list of that on the third piece of what we're talking about. There could be a place for you to be involved with what we're doing as well. So main thing is First and foremost, our primary objective is subscriber acquisition. We're exposing people to NovaCast, great opportunity to have and take advantage of a brand new service just being brought to market. Also, for those of you that, if you might not have been on the call this morning with one of our co-founders and co-CEO, Jim Bland, he shared that they're moving forward a little bit quicker with the rewards benefit program that every NovaCast subscriber is going to have access to. If you're a guest on here, excuse me. If you're a guest on here, you'll get a chance to hear about that as well in just a few. That was looking like middle to end of September, and now it's looking like it could potentially be activated within the next few days. And if so, looks like welcome emails to all subscribers could be going out potentially early to middle part of next week. Early to middle part of next week. So it could be a possibility. Anyways, we'll have a little bit more information on that. And then Thursday morning, the call with Rick Orchard probably will have the final details on that for us. If we hear it ahead of time, we'll let you guys know. But we're going to dive in, guys. We are going to do a presentation here.
Probably missed all the
Hang
fun.
tight. I'm going to dive right on into
How
this.
do you explain to people when they knock on your door, you know,
move some of these things out of your way.
that you are live streaming
And
on
so
the
first
internet?
thing we're going to talk about for those of you that are guests is TV with benefits. Quick question for you. If you could access a massive library of TV, of movies, TV series, sports, news channels, normal traditional cable TV channels, local channels, I mean, more total TV in one package than anything that has ever been brought to market. And by using that, put yourself and your family in a position very easily where you could save $250 to $500 a month Would that be something that would be of interest to you? We call it TV with benefits. Well, if that is something that interests you, then just hang tight because we're going to introduce
Okay,
you
they're
to
still letting people in
Novacast.
here.
And we call it the Spotify of TV. Why do we say that?
Oh,
Because Spotify
Ziggy's
has the
name.
largest
I think he
catalog
wrote a phone number down.
of
He
music
was going to take him for a walk.
of any
Must be
streaming
saying,
service that is out
I'm
there.
busy, sorry.
And it also has more members, more paid members and more free members that use
Second,
free
guys.
accounts, but they
I
watch a
could
lot of
still access
advertising,
this.
which monetizes that.
I just want to
They've
get as
got
many
more in
legends
both
in here as we
categories
can
than
before
all
we.
of their competitors combined. And what it has proven is what consumers want. Consumers say, we want access to the greatest amount of content at the lowest possible price. And by the way, we want you to keep adding new content, like for them, when new albums come out, when new songs come out in every genre you can think of,
Good on
they
you, Bob.
want
That was
that to
pretty
be
cool.
added in. They want that to be added in. Well, guess what? That's what people are now saying about TV as well. And I can tell you, people are cutting the cord for cable. People are getting rid of the satellite dishes at record paces. And the future is streaming internet TV. And so that's what we're going to share with you tonight is Novacast, literally the future of TV. So let's dive right in here. Let's watch a couple of videos and get a little bit better understanding of exactly what it is that we're talking about. So first, we're going to
So
start with
whoever's
just a little
policing
over a
the meeting
2-minute
at the
video. Here
moment
we go.
has got no brain because he's letting everybody in.
Some games you watch, others, yes. From opening kickoff to walk-off home runs, buzzer beaters,
Anyway, we'll just
overtime winners,
try to get as many
championship moments.
names as we can.
Novacast
in
brings
here.
you closer to every unforgettable moment. And because Novacast is a 100% fully licensed streaming platform, you can enjoy every moment with confidence, exceptional quality, and the reliability you deserve. Watch live sports from around the world. Never miss a sim. Watch every NFL game, including everything available on NFL Sunday Ticket, NFL Red Zone, local broadcasts, and national coverage, all included with your Novacast subscription for just $49.95 a month. You get NBA, WNBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, international soccer, golf,
Okay, we've got
tennis, the world's
an
biggest
echo,
football
which
leagues
I'm
and
trying to
international
find.
championships in Formula One, UFC, boxing, college sports, NASCAR,
that one.
cricket, rugby, and so much more.
There it
Whether
is.
you're cheering for your hometown team or following your favorite club across the globe, Novacast puts it all in one place. Want to keep an eye on more than one game?
Okay.
Novacast's multi-screen viewing lets you watch multiple events at the same time.
This is crap.
Experience
What the hell are you guys doing? I mean, this is a legal TV streaming service. You don't have any licenses to do what you do?
Just plug it in, connect to the internet.
Did you not hear what I said? This is an illegal TV streaming thing. You do not have licenses to do this. Stop. Cease and desist immediately. Cease and desist. Okay, let's have a fun here. They left the mic open.
Built for dependable premium entertainment. And the value doesn't stop when the game is over. Every Novacast subscription automatically includes Novacast rewards. Enjoy exclusive savings on everyday shopping, restaurants, travel, entertainment, and so much more. It's just one more way your Novacast subscription keeps delivering value long after you've turned off the TV. And the best part about all of this, you don't need separate subscriptions for sports, movies, live television, international programming, and lifestyle savings. Novacast brings it all together. All for just $49.95 a month. Live sports, premium entertainment, real everyday savings. All on one 100% fully licensed platform. Novacast. Watch more, pay less.
So that gives you a little intro into Novacast itself. And what I want to share with you now is just break down a little more of these macros so you get a little bit better understanding, kind of breaking down a little more in depth what I talked about. First off, you heard them right, $49.95. And I can tell you the average person in the United States, which right now that's the only country we're open in, and we're also
so now they're kicking people out. So let's have a bit of fun with them.
Just in the residential market. But in the United States, the average person right now, not counting internet connectivity, but the average person in the United States right now spends $153.
This is illegal, and you should not be promoting it, Scotty. You have got a history of scamming people. Let's have a listen.
People usually have cable or satellite, and then or multiple streaming services. It's 153. Novacast is $49.95. 100% licensed content. The primary platform we've been using has been around for 10 years. There's 1.8 million subscribers on
He's
that
our policing
itself,
officer today.
and their retention rate is 94%, which there's nothing more important than what the
multi-speaker.
consumers say with their dollars. And so let's break down some of these macros that we're talking about. So first off, obviously live TV, but not just live TV. You've got live TV from all around the United States and all around the world. Over 15,000
I'll just see if we can get another few connections in here.
Affiliate or local channel from a primary or
We're called
secondary
Zoom
market
Rating at
in
the moment. This is what we do.
Of course, all your news channels are on there. Over 150 countries from around the world, we have access to programming.
And what we'll do is we'll actually pick
you can actually have
people's
access
names.
to programming from those countries. We have over 60 Spanish language channels. Now, I don't know if that's the most of any service out there, but I've been told that it's the most. But I can tell you, I've talked to families here in the United States that either their grandparents or great-grandparents or maybe their parents came from a different country. They immigrated here a while back. And, you know, they say that when they see this, it's an opportunity for them to go back and watch a lot of things that they watched when they were kids. And they really love the fact that they can access that. Of course, we are the second largest Spanish-speaking country in the world with over 65 million people that speak Spanish that are here legally in the United States to speak Spanish.
Isn't it funny talking about legal and illegal?
Now, moving into the next block there, this is kind of like your streaming services that you're used to, the ones that have been around for 10, 15 years. Movies and TV series. We've got the largest library of anyone, over 130,000 movies, new ones being added every single week, over 30,000 TV series, every season and every episode of every season, and no extra charge. Even if you're looking for the really old stuff, because our classic library is the largest classic library anywhere on the world of TV. And I can tell you this, two primary categories for classic TV. One is people that want to go back and just watch things that they watched when they were a little bit younger at a different time in the life. Nostalgia is the main thing. It feels good to see things from a different time in your life for a lot of people. For a lot of other people, and I fall into this category, and I'm not a prude by any means, but you know, I can only take so much profanity, only need to see so many people jumping into bed. Definitely don't want to be seeing that at like
I like watching TV when it does that stuff.
And it seems like a lot of the current or newer content, they use so much profanity and so
they're just banning everybody at the moment,
you know, doing adult things,
which is easier.
It just feels, for
but
me,
that means no one else can get in here as well, which is even better.
Watching something and the kids are there and all of a sudden the show's on and, you know, they're using profanity or they're people, you know, even though it's simulated, doing stuff. Anyways, we help people that want to see really good, wholesome programming, because we got more than anybody else. Of course, content like you see on Netflix, HBO, Prime, Paramount, Showtime, and all of them. So let's talk about what.
All right, so we're going to have our last row. We've got one other live connection here.
99% of everything they have
and we're not going to. We've already busted the scam multiple times. We've got our friend here. So for a bit of fun, you can watch this guy here trying to police me.
That's the
I'm going to turn the mic on, and I'm going to just keep yelling until
they
tell them about
themselves. So if Netflix makes something and they haven't syndicated it yet, you're only going to find.
Okay, so we're going to do this one. We got rid of that, and we're going to have a bit of fun. Connect the thing. While this guy's having his drink.
Same thing with Paramount. Same thing with Amazon. Same thing with Apple. Same thing with Fubo. With all of them, all the different ones that are out there. Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
So they've decided to make it that you can't turn your mic off automatically.
Is Novacast.
But now we're making a box pop up on the screen.
Novacast potentially is going to create some of ours as well. Some of ours as well.
It's quite quiet. My apologies.
We're still early. We're still kind of in a pre-launch beta right now. We had an alpha launch that was a very soft launch. We're kind of in a pre-launch beta, and soon we will be coming out of that as well. And so there's a good chance that we will be making some of our own content. And when that is the case, guess what's going to happen? We will have that only on ours until we release it for syndication. So nobody gets everything 100% of the time. Nobody gets 100% of everything 100% of the time. If they have it for their own, then that's all they have. They have it until they release it. Now, kids channels, more kids programming than any other service out there. More kids programming, more religious programming, more Christian kids programming. I know there's a lot of Christians in the United States and around the world. And a lot of people are looking for that as well. So we have that. The very bottom point, when you look at cable and satellite packages, they've got
removed. Anyway, though, you know, we can't do much about this guy, but this is an illegal TV.
Thousands of them. Based on how much you pay, you get more and more of those. We've got all those
and just
as well.
To give you a bit of
there
heads
might be a
up
few
on
we
that.
don't have.
So we're going to shut him up for a bit. We're not going to sit here because we've already done this numerous times. But this is Scotty B Greatness. He's Hank William Mose has already been involved in multi-level marketing before. Just to say that to tell you where we put money where our mouth is. We've researched Novacast TV. You can come to my blog here and you'll be able to find somewhere in here one of my latest blogs. So the second one, here it is here. Novacast IP television. They don't have the licenses they claim. These are the people that we've found to be most prominent at promoting it. If you are somebody who received one of my emails, I sent an email out to 744 people. We managed to scrape their database, the affiliate database. They claim that they're trying to tap into a $300 billion industry. They're charging $49 a month, but $25 of that money goes to $25 of that money a month goes towards the affiliates. So they literally are telling us that they're literally telling us so they're literally telling us that they can't get the software going. And I'm just looking for an email I received this morning, which is really funny, which I'll see if I can actually find it. I won't be a second. No, I can't in a hurry. Oh, maybe I did. But anyway, somebody was telling me that they've been trying to get it going. They can't get it going. They're waiting for a box to come from. I'm just seeing if I can find the actual email, because when we've emailed 744 people, we've literally got a real lot of funny replies back from people basically saying that they can't get the service going, which is absolutely batshit crazy. But I can't actually find it in a hurry without it being a pain. So we might just have to leave it. I thought I had this sus, but it's gone back to, oh, there it is there. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this will be a bit funny for people to read, but I want to put this onto another screen. But this is the typical response we get from people that have signed up for the platform, didn't know that they were publicly promoted. So what we've actually done is we have written them a letter. Basically, attention, I'm contacting you because it appears that you're part of Novacast IP television affiliate system. And we're also telling them how we actually found their details and how all their details are broadcasted over the internet. So now we have, oh my goodness, is it all gone? Hold it. Where did that go? Did we just lose that quick? Let's go here. Oh yeah, so this is it here. So now we have received, hopefully if I go large, and this is what I get from people, a typical response.
I am waiting for the Novacast service to work correctly. Unfortunately, I still cannot get the Novacast app on my smart TVs or devices. In addition, I cannot access Novacast on any of my Samsung smart TVs. I'm waiting for a stick that Vern said he would send me so I can give an appropriate demo.
So Vern, I don't even know who Vern is. But you know what I mean? So here's just somebody who's signed up for this service, can't use it, and is playing the waiting game, hoping that they can find out whether it really does work. But so I wrote back and basically said, well, hold on a minute. Are you really waiting for a piece of hardware so that you can find out whether it works or not before you actually are concerned? This is what I've written back.
Hi, Jeffrey. Thank you for replying. What you have described actually raises another important concern for me. If Novacast cannot operate correctly on your Samsung smart TVs or other normal devices, and you now need to wait for Vern to send you a special stick before you can properly demonstrate the service, I think there is a more fundamental question that needs to be answered before you promote it. What exactly is that hardware giving you access to? And does Novacast actually have the legal rights to distribute the content being delivered through it? Imagine subscribing to Netflix and being told that the service would not work on your television or devices until somebody involved in its affiliate network mailed you a special streaming stick. That would understandably raise questions. My concern isn't simply whether Novacast can be made to work technically. The unresolved issue is whether Novacast has legitimate licensing agreements permitting it to distribute the television channels, movies, sports and other premium content being advertised.
I'm just going to go grab a drink of water, but I just thought I'd show you the sort of back and forth correspondence I have with these individuals. I'm just going to get a drink of water. I'll read the last part of the email I sent this individual who was waiting for his Novacast IP TV stick to turn up. And then I'll be back with a glass of water so I can talk not so fast.
Novacast has repeatedly been represented as offering 100% licensed content. Yet despite my investigation and requests for evidence, I have not been provided with independently verifiable licensing agreements from the relevant broadcasters, studios, networks or other rights holders establishing those distribution rights. That is the evidence I would want to see before demonstrating or recommending the service to anybody. So I would genuinely encourage you to ask Vern a very simple question before you demonstrate the stick. Please provide independently verifiable evidence showing that Novacast has the necessary distribution licenses for the content available through the service. Not an assurance from an affiliate, not a generic legal opinion, not an explanation of how IPTV technology works. The actual licensing evidence. If Vern or Novacast provides that documentation to you, I would be very interested in seeing it and I will review it fairly. Until that happens, I would personally be extremely cautious about promoting or demonstrating a service simply because somebody has supplied hardware that makes the streams accessible. Getting the technology to work does not answer the licensing question. Thank you again for responding. I appreciate you engaging with me rather than ignoring the questions.
Yeah, so that's the response I get from somebody, and that's my reply. Just back on this. So this is
to eat. I mean, these are things that people do every day, all throughout the week. And that's why when we take a look at a family, especially, very easy to see how a family can save $200, $300, $400, $500 a month just on that. The vacation itself on the low end, and you got 140 locations to pick from. By the way, in the United States, there's about 40 of them in the United States. And so almost without fail, for most people, you can get to one within driving distance. And that makes it really nice. You know, there's a lot of families just getting started out. And, you know, with housing costs and everything these days, there's just not quite as much additional money laying around for a lot of people as there used to be. And so this makes it easy for people to be able to drive somewhere you don't have.
So there's sales pitches. Disgusting. Now, this isn't a Novacast video, I know. However, we got given some information that may not be on the internet for much too long. But this is the back office of where they send affiliates to do their marketing. And there's a couple of things in here I really wanted to show people before this disappears, because we know that they have removed all the other links. So when you sign up for the service, it's a pay-to-play system where you can actually now recruit other people. And the goal is that you recruit enough people and you don't have to pay for your subscription. In the meantime, the licenses that they claim they have, they don't have. But when you look at the marketing that they give people, I can see why people believe that they are legitimate. But this is a typical affiliate system. So the first thing is you need to log into a different organization than they're marketing, which is ACZ Media Group. Now, we have contacted TigerPay. TigerPay is how they're actually paying their affiliates. So if you are an affiliate, within a few weeks' time, it will probably take a while, TigerPay will then close down their account, because TigerPay does not allow affiliate marketing to use their services because they are paying people through banks and credit cards and the like, whatever it is, they will shut down their account. But the good thing about getting access to this is we can now go to the training system, the overview, the legal relationship. Now, you might think, oh, they've got a legal relationship. In here, they talk about the platform as the legal relationship. So they haven't even updated. This is a ChatGPT, a piece of rubbish, talking about the legal relationship they have. Now, look at this, the platform. You're meant to replace the word, the platform, with the entity that's meant to be legal. Over here, you've got company X. So if you were promoting this, Novacast TV, this is their legal piece of paper that's meant to tell you that they have a legal relationship. This is Novacast Legal Relationships. And they have got, you know, basically cut and paste, replace word with word. So that means absolutely shit all. Then, so if you go through this, you can watch videos. They've got videos that you can send people, how a customer becomes an affiliate, how to become an affiliate only, a small business playbook, the small business memory jogger, Now, Novacast customer emails, I don't even know what this actually does, but let's have a quick look at this. And here it gives you examples of emails that you can send people to entice them to sign up for such a service. So it gets a bit more ridiculous if we go back. So let's go to, I'm not going to double up here. Get rid of the email. Maybe if I hit the back button. There was one here that was a real shocker. Graphical layout, 2-page layout, affiliate. So here they're talking about how the affiliate works. But there was a document here teaching people how to set up to get paid with TigerPay. So we've now gone to TigerPay with this very document and given them all the documents, how to set up your Novacast, your business card, door hangers, email templates so you can spam people with the right terminology, flyers that you can use to promote, how to customize marketing material, Novacast logos. So it's just what they call the, basically spammer kit, if you want to know, info cards. Now this one here is probably the most alarming to me, but if you are targeting certain organizations, car dealerships, I'll just grab a few. So they've got videos for associations. They've got videos for, I don't even know how to say that word.
Alumni associations.
Don't even know what alumni associations is, but they've got these pages that you can send people with videos that have been designed and set to target certain industries. So if I went to animal rescue, this video here will have videos with animals in it.
Just like many Americans, you're probably spending $153 or more every climbing.
Now, where is it? They have something in here.
HBO Max, Peacock, and
I don't know why, but there seems to be normally the videos
in native languages.
But look, this is a streaming service. They're hosting the videos on Vimeo. They've turned all the comments off. We did manage to get a few comments on there, but they've banned them now. Animal rescue. So they're targeting different organizations. What I'm getting at is the marketing that these people are using, in my opinion, is disgusting. Small business programs, and it's just the back end of an affiliate system. Now, one day, IPTV, well, Novacast TV won't be here. This will be all rebranded, and you'll probably find traces of Novacast IPTV in here. But one thing, we've written to this company and we've said, look, why don't you prove to us that you have the licenses you claim? And they don't. And even their legal words that we just looked at in here, their Novacast legal relationship, they don't have a legal relationship because they're telling you to replace the word the platform with the word company X. So it's just disgusting. Anyway, we got distracted, but I just wanted to bring that up while we had them in front of our screen. So we're going to go back to where we are, and we will start going back, and I'll splice this in. I'll splice what I've just done out. Zimbardi now faces 12 counts of wire fraud, 12 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. These are allegations contained in a federal criminal case. He is presumed innocent unless and until the government proves those charges beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you're like me, we talked about in previous blogs, I gave you an example just the other day of an individual that had stolen $380 million and been jailed for 20 years. Now, a lot of people who've been following what I do know about Christopher Delgado, and he was charged in connection to a $128 million scam, and that now has grown into a $425 million Ponzi scheme. And then we were looking, a lot of people were saying, oh, did you see that this guy, Todd Helter, only received 20 years, and he had, I think, 1,600 victims. But the difference here was that Todd was only completed guilty to one charge, and that one charge added up to 20 years, and he got the maximum sentence. If we were comparing apples with apples, they're not really apples, because Christopher Delgado has been charged in 3 counts. And those 3 counts are he's now facing up to 50 years in prison. This guy never was facing 50 years in prison. He was facing 20 years at the most. So that's why we've published articles like that, so you guys can understand how this works. So when I'm looking at this, and Zimbardi is now facing 12 counts of wire fraud, 12 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy, the thing that's going through Danny's brain is, how much jail time can you do for wire fraud? So I've just chucked this into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually asked that question, and ChatGPT has come back with an answer. So let's learn this together and see how much Ed could potentially be facing in prison.
Potentially decades in federal prison, but we need to be careful with the headline arithmetic. The DOJ currently says Zimbardi was indicted on 12 counts of wire fraud, 12 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. As we've already identified in the blog, there is a discrepancy between the DOJ description and reporting on the subsequently unsealed indictment, so I wouldn't yet calculate a definitive maximum based on 25 counts.
So PC.
For the offences themselves, wire fraud can carry up to 20 years per count. Federal money laundering offences can carry 10 or 20 years per count depending on the specific statute charged, while money laundering conspiracy under 18 U.S.C. Nino Turn 56H can carry up to 20 years. So, purely as a theoretical statutory calculation, if all 12 wire fraud counts carried 20 years, that's already 1220 equals 240 years.
So potentially, going by the stats that we see here, even if one of those counts stuck, he's going to be doing some serious jail time, which is quite cool. So I can see now why they are after each conviction, each counts. Alrighty, so, but this investigation didn't begin with the FBI press release, which was here where they successful validation waiting for the government to respond, fbi.gov to respond, and we wait, little boy waits. So we clicked on that. When I started digging through the history of Ed Zimbardi, I discovered something far more interesting than another alleged Ponzi scheme reaching the federal courts. People have been warning about this operation while it was still taking the money. So this is a really big thing. You know, like, we are proud of the Avengers and the work that we do. And an Avenger is basically anyone that helps us with an investigation, whether you're anonymous in the front of the bus like me with their name out there. But, you know, like, we've got regulators, we're raising concerns, victims from early adventures were speaking out. People were saying that, hey, this guy's been involved in this, and that. You know, he's got a history as long as your arm. Why would we start believing him now? Blockchain transactions were being examined. And 2 scam investigators in particular, Brandon Williams of Ponzi Patrol and Oz from BehindMLM, simply refused to let the story disappear. So we're on it like a dog on a bone. Brandon was especially relentless. Months before CryptoProgram collapsed, which was Ed's program, he confronted Zimbardi directly for almost 3 hours in an interview. He interviewed an earlier alleged victim, followed regulatory actions, examined crypto wallets, and challenged major promoters and warned investors about what he believed was coming. So, look, I would start investigating this in a heartbeat. Anyone that claims you're going to get 25% per month, you need to be investigated. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. You can't just say things like that. People want to know where the money's coming from. It doesn't come out of thin air. It's pretty obvious. The majority of these scams that we investigate literally come simply from new investors' money. So on May the 15th, 2023, Brandon publicly predicted that Zimbardi would eventually be arrested by August 14th with payment with payment problems already developing. He described what he was watching, the beginning of a slow rug pull. So we can see the signs. we're used to looking at it. That's what we do. I'm just going to go back to this, seeking victims information in cryptograms. And what's that word there? AMCs? AMCs investigations. And here was the FBI investigation looking for victims to speak out. And they often put out these warnings, and you can contact them with a phone number, which is actually quite exciting. So anyway, that was the link that we just showed you. Oz kept digging as well. BehindMLM continued documenting Zimbabwe after a crypto program disappeared. Following the regulatory actions, offshore connections, subsequently developments surrounding the man was increasingly seemed to be moving further from the United States. Then the story reached Fiji. According to federal prosecutors, after becoming aware of the FBI's investigation, Zimbabwe fled there and remained there for more than a year. On May 2026, he alleged cancelled his plans to attend his son's wedding in Virginia because he suspected the FBI agents would be waiting to arrest him. So there he was, hiding in Fiji. I don't know why the system takes so long before we can expedite people from one country to the other. Countries need to start working together. They need to get up to speed with these criminal investigations. I do like Dubai's approach, and that is you're guilty till proven innocent rather than innocent till proven guilty. Because I just think that if this guy, they knew that he was going to Fiji, and they knew where he was, and he also knew that if he come back to the States, he'd be arrested because he didn't go to his son's wedding. And he was right, because they were definitely wanting to arrest him. But they had to do all the paperwork and jump through all the hoops before it actually happened. Zimbabwe avoided the wedding, but couldn't remain beyond the reach of the law enforcement forever. 3 months later, following the cooperation between the authorities in Fiji and the United States, he was deported back to America and faced federal charges, potentially up to 220 years in prison. That's amazing, eh? Even spent time going back through Brendan. I've spent time going back through Brendan's old videos, his presentations, his confrontation with Zimbardi, the video wallet analysis, video testimonial, promoter statements, regulatory actions, and the reporting BehindMLM preserved along the way. What emerged is not simply a story of a man that accused of operating a $365 million cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. This was a story of how the warning signs appeared while the money was still flowing, how those warnings were challenged and dismissed, how the explanations challenged as payments began failing, and how a handful of people kept following the evidence long after everyone else had moved on. And it begins years before Fiji. So, I mean, it's pretty sad for us as investigators, because I believe that if I was in the government, I would be able to actually hit a lot of these scams off before they get to the bottom of the cliff. Do we really need to have 1,600, I think it's 6,000 people invested in this too good to be true 25% per month opportunity? Do we really need to wait for 6,000 people to sign up before we haul these people into the police station or the FBI office and ask them those questions before they get so much traction? Why does it take 3 years for somebody to be, arrested and asked those questions? Or why do we have to wait to the Z of the alphabet before we can actually arrest or charge somebody with a crime? In the meantime, people's lives are heavily affected. Not everyone's as intelligent as us when it comes to investment fraud. I don't know about you guys. We had a bit of a problem this morning with somebody asking for bank details from a company that we deal with. First thing I looked at is part of their domain name was Tilly. And Tilly is spelt, I've got it spelt, but I think it's Tilly. So because the email address I could see, it could be an I with a capital I, and a capital I looks very much the same as a lowercase ll. So I went and we searched for the domain name. We tried to figure out the spelling of certain things. I mean, what I'm getting at is we had somebody asking us for money, asking us to set up a direct debit. It was a similar name to our accountant. We start investigating simple things, which may not be simple for some people, but in my job, we look at everything. I'm on the way to America at the moment. Somehow, my name turned up on my booking without my middle name, Mr. Ness. So I had to redo the whole booking again. I didn't notice it. until one of my Avengers said, "Isn't your middle name this?" And I went, "Oh, yes." So I had to rebook my flights. But we're trained. We're trained to actually look for those things. And I think that's the difference, you know. So what about you? Are you getting up to speed? Are you starting to figure out how to examine if something's a scam or not? Or are you still playing around in that illusion that everything's, trust me? Or do you believe what you read? Or do you have a suspicious mind? When I was younger, they told me that if I wanted to be a good driver, I should take a defensive driving course. Do we need to send people to a defensive internet course where they learn how to wake up and stop listening to what people are telling them online to save them from losing their money? And, my disappointment is the government seems to have to work very slow. Whether the people in the government sitting there thinking, we wish we could work faster, but we can't because of all the tape that we have to go through, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's get back on target. Ponzi Patrol, Ed Zimbardi investigation. Before the federal charges, before Fiji, and before the scale of this alleged $165 million CryptoProgram Ponzi scheme became public, Brendan Williams of Ponzi Patrol was documenting Ed's in real time. The videos below form an important part of the investigation record, including Brian's direct communication with Zimbardi, victim testimonials, wallet analysts, regulatory warnings, withdrawal problems, and his coverage of CryptoProgram's eventual collapse. Watching them chronologically just shows how early many of the warning signs were being identified and documented. Look, these are, I'm not going to obviously watch all these videos, but look, you can just see that these videos.
Fraud? Well, British Columbia and Canada think so.
So he spent hours and hours doing this. I've documented all of them. And one of the best videos is this one here.
We are now on the video record.
And he managed to actually self-represent himself in with this guy. And this was all connected to the Ed arrest. So watch those if you want. I'm not going to get into them, but it does give you the proof that this 3 years worth of research went into this before the federal government come out with what actually happened. So as I said, who is Edward? Well, if you don't know who he is, basically he was laying on a beach in Fiji, living the dream with your money, so to speak. Let's have a wee look at some of this. I'm not going to read it all.
That he had previously been convicted of felony theft by taking in Georgia in 1997 when he was around 30 years old. He described the offence as involving orders entered into a computer system that caused inventory to be shipped elsewhere.
Right. Well, I hope we're doing you justice, and it's so nice to have you here, Brendan. You're more than welcome to join me on stage. We did have a bit of a collapse. So Brendan is in here in the chat room at the moment, and I just brought up all your videos. Would be interested to know which one was the first video. I tried to put them in order. And seeing you are here, I'm actually going to open up one of them and have a look at it and see where we get.
CryptoProgram a fraud here from Ponzi Patrol. British Columbia and Canada think so.
Ponzi Patrol.
Brandon here from Ponzi Patrol. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover CryptoProgram. I'm going to reserve a little bit of judgment because I have a video scheduled with Ed Zimbardi that's going to be recorded on Monday and will be released on Tuesday coming up. That's in 3 days from now. If that video is already out, depending on when you're watching this, then it's going to be linked right here. That way you can just click that and go watch that video too. Actually, I probably won't reserve too much judgment here. It's a scam. It's a fraud. It's a Ponzi scheme, and it's very clear.
And those words aren't easy to say because I was sued from Christopher Delgado, and they wanted to ruin me. I have no money, so they didn't put a monetary value on it, but they were trying to, accuse me of all sorts of things. And that's simply because we call something a scam. Now, the scammers have more money than us. So that's the honest truth of it. Now, I did click on a link then, and I was hoping that might have taken us to the actual interview. And I'm guessing that this is the interview because it's at the top. And this would be the 3-hour interview you had with
CryptoProgram just announced that they're pausing payments for 3 or 4 months.
What does this really mean for investors?
There we go. So that's where they started pausing the money, the telltale signs. I'm going to guess that you have labeled it on your web page. Yep, I'm guessing it's going to be fraud warning, cease and desist. So you got a cease and desist from him as well. Where was the original interview? That would be interesting. All right. I'm guessing that we'll be able to find that by clicking on here. We'll be able to go to videos. And if I go back to that one that we just looked at, we would probably be, I'm guessing, does it label confronted? There he is. This would be the one
package here. With the intent.
So how did that work out?
And why you definitely shouldn't trust him, because anytime I made a point here, again, he interrupted me. Okay, so the last thing I want to say here before we get into the conversation is that he's really good at covering his tracks in these scams. This is really important here because what he's asking for is smoking gun proof that he committed these crimes. But what he has is something called plausible deniability on his side, even though like all of the circumstantial evidence, all of it. And if you're a logical and reasonable person, all of this will clearly show that Ed's a con man and been a thief his entire life. But he denies it, and he denies it because there is no smoking gun. So no hard evidence of saying Ed Zimbardi, there's no proof like on paper saying Ed Zimbardi stole this. And of course, he's never going to admit it. But all of the circumstantial evidence and his track record for his entire life backs up the fact that he's a thief. He spent time in prison for it, and that there have been negative reviews from 2010 calling him a con man. It's not people saying, the reviews, to be clear, aren't people saying Ed is just mean or Ed has bad customer service.
The word career doesn't exist.
Like that. Starting in 2010, people are calling him a con man. This is very specific. They're saying he swindled them. Once he gets your money, he disappears. They say things along those lines. Back starting in 2010, and he went to prison in 1997, and these PAM accounts failed in 2022, and he walked away with $1 million. So the reason he denies it is because there's no smoking gun, and this gives him the plausible deniability, which is the ability to deny any involvement in illegal or unethical activities because there's no clear evidence to prove involvement. Lack of evidence makes what Ed's saying possible, but extremely unlikely. And I mentioned in this call a few times, basically like Occam's razor is the logic principle that the simplest explanation is usually the correct explanation. So if you add up all of the history of Ed, and he's blaming anonymous traders who don't exist and he didn't out them.
And
he's blaming them.
If you don't know how to find Ponzi Patrol's channel, I'm going to go save. And on here, I actually have a playlist that's on the front page of my YouTube channel. And it's Ponzi schemes and scams exposed by other YouTubers. And that means you'll be able to find this video and the like.
For crashing the account or stealing the money or any of that.
Right, let's get into the good stuff. I just want to give you...
of whether you do or not, I give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to allow me to share evidence because I'm hoping you've got evidence because documentation beats conversation all day long.
Those dumb quotes that these guys spout off, it's not in their own words. Documentation beats whatever it is. They always quote the same shit from each other all the time, and that's the crap part of it.
I completely agree with that. Well, let's start here. Just give me the 1 minute version and not like the long background story, but the 1 minute version of what CryptoProgram is, just so that everyone's up to speed on it.
Absolutely. The CryptoProgram, the name is deceiving because it's just crypto in and crypto out as far as making your purchases of media packages, which I'll explain what that is in a second, and then getting paid out via crypto instead of fiat because there are people who get involved around the world and the back-end team is not going to convert to other people's fiat in different countries that they sign up with around the world. So what is the CryptoProgram? It is a program that's been around now for 15 years, offline, that allows people to buy media packages. The company is an ad agency.
Sounds like Novacast. Look, we're not going to watch the whole lot, but if you want to sit there and watch, now you know the video to watch. Go find out my YouTube channel. And obviously I've embedded all these videos here. You can go watch the whole lot unfold. I mean, the point of this blog is to document something good that's happened to people that spend hours warning people before they get to the bottom of the cliff. We get accused of all sorts of things by doing our investigations, a lot of the time by the same people that are promoting these opportunities. I'm not going to read all this blog, but I wanted you to know we went through, I actually got all the transcript out of all the videos that Brandon had done, and I'd actually put them into ChatGPT and then asked for a chronological order of things. And then I've used it in this investigation. So maybe you're sitting here as a victim. Maybe you're sitting here thinking that Ed's been wrongfully charged. Then we now can use the allegement, and now we can use the facts in the court documents to basically say how far wrong were we at accusing this guy of running a scam, and all the things he said. Now, when I was looking at him talking here, I'm looking for him to see when he's lying. He looks away when he talks about, like he just said, it's been here for 15 years. And as you watch these guys
ad
now,
agency, a media buyer, a list broker,
it's like he's trying to keep his eyes open so he knows if he looks away, he's going to be not legit.
all combined in one.
Oh, he looked away then. But what I'm getting at is a lot of these guys lie through their teeth. They will say whatever it takes. If you want to believe in somebody rather than using verified facts to make an informed decision, you're going to get scammed. It really comes down to that. So if you want to read about who he is and what he's done previously, I've actually pretty sure I've documented this pretty good. But even if let's just be stupid and say I'm 80% right and 20% wrong. I mean, if somebody handed you a glass of water to drink and they said that this glass of water only has 1% arsenic in it, would you still drink it? No. So that's what you got to start looking at if you really want to identify what's happening with these scams. You want to figure out whether it's worth taking the risk because you feel good about it. Because all these scams are there to build trust. And if you've got a friend of a friend and they've told you something and you want to believe your friend versus evidence, then you're going to lose your money. And we've been doing this for a long time. Brandon's been doing it a long time as well. End of the day, we haven't been wrong yet. So that must speak volumes. And if they label this as crypto and crypto's new and developing, these scams aren't crypto. The payment mechanism is crypto. The scam is a Ponzi scheme. So that was basically about here. So the pitch was offering 25% per month. That's your first red flag when looking at anything like that. Work it out, guys. Where does the money come from? If you follow the money, it's coming from new investors. There's no proof that there will be any money coming from any other sources. And as Warren Buffett says, you can see who's been swimming naked when the tide goes out. And what that means is when crypto is going up and Bitcoin's going to the moon, you can basically be running, a Ponzi scheme where you get $100,000, put it into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going up. So not only do you have the incoming coming up, you've also got new money coming in, and you can keep the scam going a lot longer than it is. So I don't know who this is. Who's that?
For $10. So it's the same concept.
Yeah, actually, so on Spotify, they have over 100 million songs.
It's Bob.
And I think their top subscription, like $20, $21 or something. And lower ones, even lower than that. So less than $20 for 100 million songs you can access at your leisure 24/7 with new ones being added. But here's another thing, Jack, this because you've owned all kinds of businesses. I Googled earlier today.
Netflix will show you their license, Danny.
Yeah, we're getting off topic. I've already been on this, boy. Is he talking about me today?
Some of them because they're mixed in.
And now he's trying to, Hector's trying to back him up, saying, well, go ask Netflix for their license.
Netflix had, I think, 16.
Go ask Paramount.
16,000.
I'm going to see if we can get back in here.
16,000 people who get salaries.
Netflix ain't $49.95, and don't pay out to referring other people to Netflix.
And of course,
if they did, I'd be rich.
You pay the extra taxes on your employees.
I love the way they avoid talking about everything.
And then you've got
they keep likening this to something legitimate.
Yes. Just the toilet paper
why would you sit here and talk about Netflix rather than the elephant in the room? It's just like,
you've got to pay for lights.
We were nice. We just went after the pay processor. Next we're sending that email to. Let's send it to Netflix because he likes naming Netflix. And I say send it to the NHL. NFL, and now he's backing off. Well, we don't have pay-per-views, but yet your landing page says pay-per-views on it. So that'd be considered misleading advertising.
Yeah, I'm just I'm going to. So they've got Hank's away today.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because maybe it was Hank who signed up for the pay processor. Maybe it was Hank.
We don't have to have thousands
because that would take him away because he'd have to deal with legal.
And that's why somebody.
So I'm sending them a message saying we're streaming them live, and it keeps kicking me out.
Variable cost. And not
he's being real picky who he lets in. They don't even have that many people in the room.
How many they got? 39.
39.
And two of them are you and me.
So critical. There will be people.
Three of them are us.
Competition's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that.
And there's like really no new people. Karina, is always in here.
The ability for people to share.
Karen's always in here. Joe's always in here. Jane in August.
Here we go.
We destroyed.
I just told them they're streaming. We're streaming them live, and he's removed me.
Amazing. We have any other ones, guys? Any other ones?
There's only like 4 new people in here. Yeah.
When we leave, one of the things we ask if you can do.
Ask if you can do.
Here we go. Listen.
Camera. We're going to give you a chance to uncamera yourself.
Uncamera yourself.
And when you do that, just kind of wave goodbye to everybody. Wish everybody
Karen, don't look so grumpy.
A nice evening. And we'll be back tomorrow night with training at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a
Big B, aka Brian, Bittin.
Send Hank a message too. Tell him you missed him.
He'll be back with us tomorrow night. He's taken some much needed and deserved time. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Great job, Scotty.
You too, Jack. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it as always. Hi, Marie. How you doing? You look lovely tonight. That's what professional people do. Look at that. Yeah.
That's what professional people do. Nice.
The professional people don't scam people. So the gloves are off, guys.
He has some filter on. Look at his face. It's all screwed up.
Good. I got that on camera. Thank you.
I got that on
camera.
I got that on. Good on you. So did we.
Stop. That's what I needed. Perfect.
What does that prove? Nothing. Like give me. It has no context.
Boom.
I got that on camera.
I'll see if I can get back on here on another screen.
No, he ended it.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I better get back onto my blog, mate.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. That's cool. Well, there's Bob. He's very, very good at getting on with that sort of stuff. Anyway, back where we were. Now I'm going to think. I got a bit distracted here. Don't know exactly where we were. So it's interesting. I didn't realize that he was doing something in media, which is actually quite interesting. I'm just curious now.
And what an individual does when they enter into the crypto program is they get to buy a media package and select a campaign. The campaign could be Google, Yahoo, MSN, which is search campaigns. It could be a social media campaign, such
sounds like the start of video look
as Twitter, Facebook ad campaign, and the rest of the social media programs out there, TikTok, LinkedIn. It could be a high traffic news website, national, like a foxnews.com, a CNN.com.
And once again, they use all the big names to bamboozle people.
Type of thing. Or it could be a specific product or service that they're offering. You select one of those campaigns and you purchase a media package with the intent that that media package is going to be managed for that client to get clicks. And at the end of the media package term, which is about 30 days, then it's going to reveal how many clicks a person received for the service of purchasing media packs and advertising on their behalf. And then it's going to show the percentage of what that campaign earned over that 30-day period of time. That's what the CryptoProgram is.
Got it. All right. Well, that's
Don't know they've got approval with YouTube or anyone to do that.
what I was looking for. So can you, at the beginning of this conversation, you said documentation beats conversation. Can you show any proof of that?
Yes. When a person clicks to register and is invited into the program and they set up an account, it's revealed inside their account.
No.
What exactly is revealed? If you don't.
When they go to purchase a media package, they have a drop-down menu to select what campaign they want.
Yeah.
And then after the cycle ends, about 30, well, the very first cycle is 32 days. Every cycle thereafter, if they choose to continue with that media package, it cycles every 30 days. It shows a line item transaction of how many clicks they received from that campaign, and it shows what the percentage of return was.
Right.
So that is for the client.
Basically,
Each client has that.
it's on CryptoProgram's website. So would it be fair to say that you could just type in how many clicks it was?
Exactly right.
Kind of like MetaTrader 4 data where you can fake that with servers. Would, like in hindsight, would you say that that's a similar type thing?
No.
So how is that?
So he's alleging that he's had connections with YouTube. How would he get that data other than it being fudged?
How is the campaign data imported into CryptoProgram?
Through an API by the people that own the company.
And is that API connected to Google, or is that connected to a spreadsheet, or how is that connected?
It's connected to their ad campaigns. I would imagine it's their business. It's not mine. How can I answer questions about somebody else's business?
Oh, this guy's a piece of shit.
If it's not my business.
Right.
Oh, you think we're stupid, eh, mate? Oh, look, this is great. This will be a fantastic investigation. I've watched other investigations that you've done. I'm not going to spend all day doing this one because this is a big blog, as I said, but I can see why Brandon got heavily involved in this investigation simply because you can tell by the nature of the guy. If you were a legitimate company, you had legitimate documentation, you would be providing that in a heartbeat, especially if you had the opportunity to be scrutinized for something amazing that you've done. But all these guys are hide behind, trust me, they can't provide the documents that we ask because they don't exist. And they're just running fraudulent schemes, which is absolutely batshit crazy. And the returns, like I haven't even really looked into this, but I've seen other things where, like VidiLook, for example, you get paid for clicking on other people's ads. If you were the advertiser and you knew that people were just clicking on your ads so they could get the revenue that you were paying for those adverts, that sort of marketing, I'm not sure if that's what he was selling, but I don't want that type of advertiser. It's fooling the system. And also API my ass. There'll be no APIs that go back. And YouTube, if they saw, it would just be everything I could just listen to. I could, question straight away. All right. So what have we got here? Brandon attacked. I'm just going to get in the flow of it.
Brandon attacked the proposition from a much simpler direction. Where was the money actually coming from?
Yeah.
If an advertising business could reliably generate enough profit to pay participants 25% every month, why raise capital at such an extraordinary cost? Why not use conventional financing? And what happens mathematically when participants continually compound returns of that magnitude?
Yeah, so a lot of these scammers often say to us, they're so successful, they've got the nice cars and the suits that are too tight and the no socks. But the reality of it is the fact that why do they need other people's money? And why do they have to market or recruit people into these opportunities? Why don't they go and borrow money rather than paying out 25% per month? Why not go to the bank, show them all the documentations, get a bank loan and fund it cheaper? Why give extraordinary amounts of money away?
Zimbardi maintained that advertising campaigns generated the revenue, but when Brandon pressed him on exactly how the underlying campaign data reached CryptoProgram, his answers became less certain. Discussing the supposed API connection, Zimbardi eventually said, "I would imagine it's their business. It's not mine."
Yeah, so we did pick up on all that, which that distinguishes between the advertised business and the actual movement of investors' money is how central are now central to the federal case.
The DOJ alleges that thousands of investors ultimately sent more than $165 million into cryptocurrency wallets, secretly controlled by Zimbardi. Prosecutors say the money was not being used to purchase advertising packages as represented. Instead, they allege later investor funds were used to pay earlier investors. More than $34 million was placed into risky foreign currency trades, and millions more went toward personal expenses.
Right, so recently we've sort of found ourselves set up an organisation called the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance. And what we're actually doing now is we're doing deep dive investigations into different Ponzi schemes and scams that are active. So Goliath Ventures was one, Nexus, Rift Protocol, one that we've just finished a blog on at the moment. But what we're actually doing this for is we actually had Altium Foundation who claimed that they got hacked. CryptoG actually found that $31 million worth of money wasn't doing what it was claiming it was doing. It was basically being distributed rather than invested in what they claimed, right? And that's what we're doing at the moment. So if you have or you're participating in something and they're claiming that they're doing liquidity pool trading, or they're claiming that they're investing in what's the other, they're doing, trading on crypto, then what we can do, you give us your wallet addresses. CryptoG will, we pick which ones we do because it takes quite a lot of time, but we'll prove to you guys that your money's not been used for what they claim it's doing. And that's the service that we're offering as the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance. I'm just an affiliate. Now, how many times have we heard of those people like this guy saying that he's not the company, he's just working for the company, and when it all goes pear-shaped, he's going to say to you that he's invested heavily in the company because he truly believed it, and he's mortified that the company fell over. You know what I'm getting at? So that's what these guys do. I'm just a master affiliate. All of a sudden, people have reached out to him and they've decided to use his network to launch their program, and he's not responsible. He's all care, no responsibilities. Something like that. So as Brandon said, with I think the part that I got out of watching all the videos that I did watch, Brandon basically said, well, when the federal investigators light up an investigation, I think you will be the person they're talking to. And he come back and said, that remains to be seen. Well, now look at it. Isn't that sort of absolutely awesome? 3 years later, and we're getting a lot of people being charged now, and it is years later. Christopher Delgado, in my case, 6 months from the 1st of September, and now this guy has pleaded guilty for running a $328 million Ponzi scheme. 6 months, world record. Everyone said that to me, and even I didn't really appreciate this. Brandon has had to wait 3 years for this guy to be indicted back from Fiji. Chuck Fiji in the middle of it all would have even slowed the process down even more. So isn't that awesome? So that's Brandon. If you haven't met him before, he's the man behind Ponzi Patrol. And you might notice that when I go into Zoom meetings, I call myself Ponzi Patrol. I have done that for a few years. His name inspired me. People like we just witnessed in the Zoom meeting with Novacast, they will just say whatever it takes to get people to sign up so they get the commission. And a lot of them claim that they're not the company. They're just an affiliate. And they're the same as you because we're all in the same boat together, but they're not. These are serial promoters of multi-level marketing. So yes, Brandon could have stopped with that interview. He would have had that one interview under his belt, but he didn't. He dug in deeper. So on May the 15th, 2023, he published a blockchain investigation using Etherscan and Dude Analytics.
June Analytics.
And he identified the wallets believed to be connected to Zimbabwe and tracks the transaction and went back to CryptoProgram's earliest activity. I'm going to just read that because I'm going to stuff it up.
Conclusion was that the visible flow of money did not support the story of an independent advertising business, generating extraordinary external profits. Brandon acknowledged that some of his wallet attribution relied on sources and information he wasn't prepared to disclose publicly. At that stage, his conclusion that Zimbardi controlled those wallets was investigative analysis, not a court finding, but
Yeah. Where did that get up to? Not a court finding. Now, interesting enough, we've actually, I say we, but the Avengers have actually tracked $10 million worth of money sitting on the blockchain, which we believe is connected to Goliath Ventures. We've monitored some pretty amazing shit. Now, we could show you that investigation. What do you think would happen to the money? It would probably all get moved, probably get bricked, money laundered through crypto to make it very hard for us to monitor it. So we're better off taking our investigation to the feds and showing them what we've unraveled through our investigation. So if you're involved in any crypto scam, or even if you think it's legitimate, and you give us those wallet addresses where you're asked to give us the money, we can track things to a certain degree. And then what we do is we might get 25 people who give us wallet addresses they deposited money, and then we look for patterns, inconsistencies and consistencies. And we then get lucky. Sometimes we can group it all together and find out this is where all the action is happening. Now with BG Wealth Sharing, we monitored over $1 million. I believe that was $1 billion scam. Within a week, we managed to watch $91 million be laundered off a OKX and I've got the name of it now. What are they called? Coinbase account. And the crypto wallet addresses that we had were picked up by Zach XBT. He's a forensic blockchain investigator, and he managed to actually block or stop $41.5 million worth of money. That was because of Oz from BehindMLM, and also I got credited for giving those wallet addresses to them. So I can't stress enough, if you are involved in a crypto opportunity and you've been promised 25% per month and you think it's a real deal, and you're judging that because you're receiving dividends, you might even be playing with house money and thinking that you're okay. Other people will lose money eventually. Don't underestimate the power of giving us those blockchain wallet addresses, because there's people, unsung heroes as I call them, working those wallet addresses, and at the very least we can prove to you guys that the money isn't doing what they claim they're doing. So you can sit here and listen to the marketing of people like Ed, who's got that horrible face that you want to punch, or you can look at the hardcore facts of what they're doing with the money when it lands. And why did he need, the biggest asked question I would have been asking here, if he was using Google AdWords and ad campaigns to generate 25% return for people per month, why did he need to involve crypto? Why couldn't he have done it with credit card processors? Why did he have to get you guys to pay with crypto? Would have been the biggest red flag, because the conventional credit card companies wouldn't want to touch that sort of money. So anyway, as we go through here, regulators started and close in. So May 2025, we'll just read a couple of paragraphs at the start.
By May 2023, CryptoProgram was no longer just attracting criticism from investigators like Brandon and Oz. Regulators were beginning to move. The British Columbia Securities Commission issued action involving CryptoProgram and Edward Zimbardi, and Brandon documented messages showing Zimbardi reacting to regulator contact with members. Zimbardi said he would not speak with the investigator, described the inquiry as a fishing expedition, and questioned why participants would engage with regulators at all.
So with BG Wealth Sharing, I think we had 15 governments warn about BG Wealth Sharing, and now it's morphed into 13 different like-minded brands. And every time a regulatory warning comes out, people distinguish it, or not distinguish, I don't even know the word, but they just turn a blind eye to it. These guys will look you in the eye and tell you that they're just barking up the wrong tree. Meanwhile, they're scoffing money away as fast as they can. So CryptoProgram, let's read about the first couple of paragraphs of this one.
The rebrand brought more than a different name. Participants were introduced to new KYC requirements and an offshore exchange, while US members were reportedly being told they might need to establish an LLC as part of the process. On the 30th of June, 2023, Brandon warned that these changes could become the excuse for future withdrawal problems. His question was straightforward: if everything was functioning normally, why couldn't participants simply continue receiving cryptocurrency directly into their wallets?
Yeah, what do they need to restructure it? Same stuff every single time. Hey, mate, look, we are talking about Hypercapital. Have you heard of that? No, you may not have. Hypercapital, Hyperfund, Hyperverse, Hypernation, Hypercosmos, and then it rebranded into Diversal, I think it rebranded itself into. Then it started up again with Sam Lee and his I'm trying to think of the one that it started up as, but they just rebrand themselves over and over and over again. So just rebranding a company, if it was just cosmetic, then they would be able to use the same utilities, but now they're telling people they need to do KYC details. In the meantime, sometimes they rebrand themselves from one, if they're using a token, to another token, but the value of those tokens changes along the way, and you're just finished up with worthless whatever you think you own of value. I don't know how to explain that. Now, Scott Morris, this was where I started watching. So Scott Morris was obviously a major promoter, and he was a believer. He's a co-conspirator. Now, if I was Scott Morris, I'd be freaking out about now, because Scott Morris, if we just go back to Ponzi Patrol, when I watched this interview with Scott Morris, this was the best thing I've watched.
If there's no record of it, that would probably mean that you organized the Zoom and then got rid of it. But we had talked on either Telegram or the phone, and I remember it.
What do you remember?
I remember hoping that I would be talking to an open-minded person who'd be open to listening to an alternative set of realities, but you weren't.
Oh my God, and this is 4.5 hours of my life I'll never get back. But the way that Brendan handled himself in this interview, and the disposition, I think it was called, was world class. Honestly, it was a brilliant. I watched this and I thought, what a slime bucket. This guy hated Brendan. Brendan got to ask him all the questions. I don't know what the outcome of this was, because I think it was they negotiated out of court. But they tried to drag Brendan through the courts. And I might not even be representing this information correctly, but he was presenting an offer to Brendan, and the excuse was probably Brendan didn't understand how crypto worked, didn't understand. They basically claim that Brendan didn't know shit, and if he had an open mind, which means if he got gaslighted enough from these individuals, he would have just learned to shut up and hand over his money. And that's what, it's just the same shit every day. I mean, you can't even listen to these guys. I can pick any part of this here and listen to some of the...
You're the one that does that.
So here, it shows that it is a direct reply to her message. Do you see that, where it says Scott, and then it says Cody, and then your message says, I figured he made shit up about me. So that is a direct reply to Cody. Is that correct?
I refer to the statement that I just read.
So it is a reply to Cody. You agree?
I agree.
Slime bucket.
Put out a retraction depending on how this lawsuit concludes, or we come to some settlement agreement, but I don't think this is an appropriate time to be drawing conclusions like that. Not at all.
So brilliant. Love it. Yeah, it's a big marathon. I'm not going to go through 3 years worth of stuff, but let's listen to what who's Scott Morris.
Major promoter Scott Morris went further, telling participants they needed to blindly do what Ed was telling them. They didn't need to understand how it worked. For me, that turns due diligence on its head. This was an operation promising extraordinary returns while already attracting regulatory attention. Asking more questions wasn't the problem. Within weeks, participants would have a much bigger problem getting their money out.
Yeah, so it's all easy to put your money in, but when you're getting it out, so they had a slow rug pull. They probably come up with, I'm just guessing here, I'm guessing that they had technical difficulties.
By July 2023, the problems Brandon had predicted were beginning to appear. Participants were reporting delayed payments, support requests were allegedly going unanswered, and Brandon documented that the cancel button disappeared for roughly a month. Several investors contacted him privately claiming they had requested their money but hadn't received it. The explanation was technical. Members were told there were database synchronization problems associated with the new system, and that affected wallets were temporary.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, if you're going to believe all those sort of stories, you're a victim. And also what I've found with my investigations is that everyone's your enemy when the money's piling in. And when the money stops being able to withdraw, everyone's asking for your help. And I get half bits of information from people. And it is really, hard work. So I think we had, so if you want to, there's a whole article about the unfolding of it. And I'm sure there's people who are watching this now that were involved in this, who decided they were maybe too embarrassed to even speak up. They put it under their pillow as a bad mistake, won't do it again. So 5 days after he interviewed the 14th of August video, it looks like everything stopped. I'll just read that one.
On the 19th of August, 2023, CryptoProgram announced that payments would be paused for approximately 90 to 120 days. Members were told the interruption was connected to people allegedly defrauding the program, and were reassured that payments would eventually resume. Brandon immediately called it an exit excuse.
Oh my goodness. So Hyperverse comes to mind. They were telling people that they had people with multiple accounts. Some people had up to 500 accounts. They had people who were promoting it, creating the 21 account structure, where basically if they fed people into the top of their own pyramid, 55% of that money that dropped in there would come straight back to them straight away. Things like they could use their own HU dollars to buy memberships. They'd have to top it up with real HU money to create a new membership. And then they would use their HU money to top it up. But if the people, it's a long-winded story, but all these things come out, then all of a sudden the company says, well, we have to cease operations because we found problems. And as soon as they cease anything, that's it. The money's gone and there's no money left in the Ponzi scheme. So it sounds like the same thing happened here. So it's the same pattern every single time. I will read this paragraph here and just more of a summary.
The Department of Justice now states that the crypto program imploded in August 2023, and victims lost their invested funds. Prosecutors allege that later investor money had been used to pay earlier investors, and that the advertising package explanation concealed a $165 million Ponzi scheme.
So when federal investigators come out here and back up what investigators says, that is just, it is absolutely incredible. You know, because we do the calculations, we have the gut feeling, we put everything on the line for it, we potentially get sued for it, and then when the federals come out 3 years later with the paperwork and they have done the research, you know, that the media will read and claim they're breaking the news story. You know, that's what I'm going through at the moment with Goliath Ventures, with Channel 9 News. They're claiming they're breaking the story. They won't interview me because they said I'm not a real journalist, but I'm the one that broke the story. Victims behind the numbers. You know, how about this?
Behind every collapse like this are people who believed the story long enough to put real money behind it. Brandon said some crypto program participants weren't simply investing spare cash. He documented discussions involving people considering 401.
Look, if you're ever going to take out your 401ks or mortgage your houses up to invest in any opportunity, no matter how good it sounds. Look, I can tell you, I had a lady in Canada who was involved in Goliath Ventures. She put $100,000 worth of her money into it. She sold her house. She put her house money into Goliath Ventures. And she did that because she was temporarily looking for a new property to buy. And she'd also put credit card money in there. She put all her money in there as like, she used it like a bank. Goliath Ventures fell over. She lost the whole lot. And she rang me up mortified. You know, that's what these people do. You get complacent. You know, if you're ever using money, I mean, I don't even want to say this because I think this is the dumbest statement on the internet, but only invest money you're prepared to lose. Would you really only invest money? Who's prepared to lose any money? An investment scam, you know, or scheme. Why do you think you have to risk anything for an investment opportunity? I mean, it's just batshit crazy, guys. You've got to wake up. I mean, come on. If somebody's offering you 25% return for your money per month, are you really going to, you know, put it into a platform where they won't answer the basic questions? You know, you know, so, I mean, I'm sure Brandon read this, and I've spoken to Brandon. He's in the chat room now, probably. You know, like, this is his YouTube channel, and you can see that he hasn't published a video for 7 days ago. He published this video, and then 9 months. Now he's backing off doing a lot of videos, maybe working behind the scenes doing other stuff, but he got out there after 9 months of that disposition here, and when Ed was charged or arrested, he got out there and did another video. And, you know, like, I'm just going to watch the start of it
today for his participation in CryptoProgram. Who would have ever guessed? If I was a betting man, if this does come down to litigation and it comes down to putting people in jail and those kind of things, I think that I'm talking to the person that they'll be talking to.
Okay, that remains to be seen.
Well, it looks like they are talking to Ed Zimbardi. Here is the government DOJ's press release from today, August 17th, 2026. Alleged mastermind of $165 million cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme facing federal charges after deportation from Fiji. Here, they are alleging that he did this, but the feds have a I believe it's about 92% conviction rate. So whenever you get charged by them, you are usually going to end up doing time. At least 92% of the time you will be. So here they're saying that he took in $165 million and operated CryptoProgram as a Ponzi scheme. He spent the money on risky currency trades, payments to early investors, and treating himself to a house and expensive vehicles. And that is from U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg. When his scam imploded, he allegedly tried to evade federal prosecution by fleeing to the other side of the world. Thanks to law enforcement and diplomatic authorities in Fiji and the United States, Zimbardi is back on American soil and will face trial. Quick tip for any of you fraudsters out there: if you're going to flee, make sure you do it to a country that's not going to just deport you or extradite you right back to the United States to face charges.
Idiot.
Zimbardi.
Oh, that's brilliant. Honestly, I must actually make sure I had that one on my channel as well. I already have. There you go.
Allegedly preyed
on
trusting individuals through a complex scheme to separate people from their hard-earned money, and then reportedly fled more than 7,300 miles to the South Pacific. Scammers are trying everything they can to defraud people out of their hard-earned money, but the FBI is doing everything we can to make sure they don't succeed, no matter where they hide.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, mate. I know that feeling personally. I can say I can understand how you must be feeling. Anyway, so that's the truth of it. The promoters who kept the faith alive. So obviously Scott Morris, I would be sweating like a rapist at the moment if I was Scott Morris. There may be another victory lap here yet. And obviously these people claim they couldn't get their money out. So there's some other names that come into it, and also BehindMLM is part of the story as well.
BehindMLM identified Scott Morris, Ramon Gemperl and Christopher Livingston among CryptoProgram's notable promoters. Morris would later become particularly significant. According to BehindMLM's reporting, he was subpoenaed by the SEC over his CryptoProgram involvement, with the CFTC also present at a subsequent deposition.
Yeah. Oh, funny, I just saw this one here. I started writing another blog today about something, but this is interesting. But good source of information, obviously. But look, if you go through BehindMLM, you can see Scott Morris sitting there with his hairdo. Looks like a Donald Trump hairdo there. His mate, he'll be thinking now, was it a good idea, to take Brandon and try to sue him in the courts? It's just, you just can't get any better than this sort of stuff. You get vindicated. The truth always prevails, but sometimes we don't get the backing of the government. It's just absolute batshit crazy. And hopefully, you never know, there might be some money left. There will now be a big court case. Just to give you an idea, Goliath Ventures, right? So if I go Goliath Ventures, where is it? Goliath Ventures. I'll just go to Goliath. Just so you know, is it really going to make me type that in? Ventures. Oh, yeah, there it is. So just to give you an idea, for a $425 million Ponzi scheme, the government has set up, well, not the government, I think the receivers have set up a place where you can actually go and watch the receivers doing their job. All the dockets that are released come out. So on the 24th of August, which was yesterday to me, there's dockets, there's documents all through here. Now I could just keep scrolling forever here. These are all the documents that get filed on this website for people who are trying to recover some of their money. We've found 27 co-conspirators that are involved in Goliath Ventures. Who knows what's going to happen with the history of this company and how many people will now start submitting proof of claims and the like. I'm going to America to watch Christopher be sentenced. Maybe there's opportunities for me to meet up with other people who do this for a living as well. But, this is what we do all day long. I've investigated over 300 Ponzi schemes and scams over the last 5 years. We're all aware of them every day. The problems that we face isn't just that the government works slow. It's the fact that the people that promote this think they have a right to promote it because no one's stopping them. Often I say to people, we're in the trenches, we're fighting these guys in the trenches. We'd rather be at the top of the cliff telling people to back off because they're going to walk over the financial cliff, rather than being at the bottom waiting for the FBI and the Homeland Securities and the IRSs to come out with documents to say that this is a scam. Because by the time you get to find out that this is a scam and somebody was running a scam, you've lost all your money. So we need to use technology as much as we can and change the way that we investigate these scams. Otherwise, we're just wasting everyone's time. I've got better things to do with my time. I truly have. But one day there may be a turning point. What's going to change these investigations around? Anyway, so we're going back. Let's see, what have we got here? CryptoProgram to the Netherlands. Money laundering, illegal investment services involving Dutch authorities. I'm not really going to do that. They arrested him, so he's obviously had a history of it, which didn't seem that long ago, actually. So I'm just going to have to read that paragraph so I get a little bit of a feel about it.
By March 2024, he had surfaced in the Netherlands, where Dutch authorities arrested him on suspicion of money laundering and providing illegal investment services. This was a separate investigation involving Coroner de Jong, who Dutch authorities suspected of defrauding more than 1,400 consumers. Zimbardi was suspected of helping de Jong launder more than 56 million euros, with investor funds allegedly flowing through Mugen Markets, an offshore brokerage. Brandon Williams and BehindMLM had already connected to Zimbardi.
Wow, there you go. So even 2024 he got arrested. So this was published 2024, released by Dutch authorities. He's looking and then there was obviously that person's name. I don't think we had a photo of them, but yeah, so there you go. So if you want a summary of everything that's happened over the last 3 years, you can probably find it on my blog. After questioning him, Dutch authorities released him. Cryptocurrencies seized, including newly unsealed, according to BehindMLM examination of the indictment, federal prosecutors are seeking forfeiture of assets connected to the alleged crypto program fraud, including cryptocurrencies seized by Dutch authority. Interesting. Some of the cryptocurrency seized may now form part of the financial trail prosecutors are attempting to recover in the United States. So they're going to go after the money. What's that one there? Major?
Mugen Markets appears again.
No, I don't know anything about this. Oh, I see. So this is really interesting because this is where I've started to, when I started seeing these names, I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting. That didn't know that was connected to this. And it just seems to be a continuation of Leapfrog. So inside, I don't even know where this scam actually fits in. Neolife also found account is attached to the broker. Not even familiar with what I'm talking about at the moment, if you haven't figured that out. Let's see.
Oz traced the structure through several layers. Nello Life Secure Admin Group Spitter Capital / Spitter FX Mugen Markets. During a Nello Life webinar, Cameron Kirker displayed a MyFX book account showing claimed trading performance. BehindMLM identified that account as Spitter Main, linked to Mugen Markets as the broker. Kirker's relationship with this ecosystem also appeared to predate Nello Life. Oz located a 2022 Trust Bullet review in which Kirker praised IMGFX, the brokerage behind MLM and Brandon Hood connected to Mugen Markets.
Yeah, so you can see what's happening here is these are all connected. I often say to
AI Mode, Danny DeHare.
I often say, like, if you went to behind my Millinote database and we went to home and we went to my scams. So just the other day, just give you an example of one scam that we've been following. If we go to this scam here, you wouldn't even know who this is probably, CR Group LLC. So this is a test case scam. They did it in New Zealand. And on the 25th of December 2025, they told everyone that the only way they're going to get their money off the platform was by depositing 20% more. And then once they did that, they would be able to withdraw the whole lot. Some people did actually get their money out because they squawked and talked about it to everyone else. And then went out, well, if he did it, I'll do it too. Then the company shut down. So that company rebranded to what we call Signal Raiders. Signal Raiders, the Avengers shut down this company because they rebranded and had the same offering. Then somewhere along the lines there, BG Wealth Sharing started up. They claim they've been going for 4 or 5 years. Then that was what I believe is $1 billion scam. Just recently, and it's still happening now today, PO Wealth Sharing, very similar name, exactly the same offering. They now moved everything into Bond Chat to have chats instead of Telegram groups, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go on about it too much. You may have heard this before. But this company here is basically trying to fire up what worked before as BG Wealth Sharing, what was tested here in New Zealand. So you might think that's the end of it. No, Northcrest Capital just did this 14 days ago, maybe 7 days ago. I investigated Northcrest Capital. Exactly the same offering, exactly the same template. Apex Investment Group, exactly the same again. Nixo, same again. Swift Capital, same again. QVSE with their exchange WX, same. QVI Markets, exactly the same again. Vista, same. New Era, same. Now, Polar Tensor and SFC Vibe. These are two scams which are associated with the same advertising. So we go and scroll around the internet, we find their advertising appearing in the same place as these other scams I just mentioned. So what am I getting at here? It's no surprise to me that all these scams are all touching each other. Now, I've just started writing a blog about one scam I saw mentioned here today, QNet. And the reason why is it was 42 QNet human trafficking victims rescued in Nigeria. Now, I've got a PDF that was being put together in draft form, a report that was going to be fed to the United Nations. I went to the Global Financial Crime Summit 2024, and I met 150 delegates around the world that basically fight crime like I do. The whole meeting was about financial fraud. They were telling us how the human trafficking compounds work, blah, blah, blah. And there was somebody from the United Nations there who was talking about a report that they had been given. That report was the same report that I had my hands on before it was published. And it was all about human trafficking compound. So when we see 13 scams that are all like-minded, all coming out at the same time, all offering the same thing, I can profile it together and say, I believe this has come out of the same human trafficking compound, because that's how they operate. This one here, 42 QNet human trafficking victims rescued in Nigeria. This will be either, if not, I don't believe it's the same, I believe it's another human trafficking compound. So what are you doing while you're supporting, while you're investing and having a go at the casinos of investment opportunities that these presenters do? Where do they get them from? I believe they get them from the human trafficking compound. So even if you dabble in something that you think is too good to be true, and you think you're smarter than the average bear, and you're going to get your money out before it collapses, you're actually not just playing with money. You're actually playing with people who are running human trafficking compounds. Now, in my hard drive, and I'm not going to show you, I have over 200 videos that were given to me to show the heinous acts that are happening to people in these human trafficking compounds. So you're not supporting your mate or your friend by dabbling in an investment opportunity. You're actually helping keeping these human trafficking compounds going by participating in anything to do with investment fraud or investments online. Anything that's got crypto in it, it's too good to be true. They don't provide you the documentation. Then I'm not saying that every single one of them is the same template, but majority of times I can look at it. Brandon can look at it. Oz from BehindMLM can look at it. and we can profile something and go, that's a scam. And you'll go, prove it to me. And I'll go, oh my God, give me 3 years of my life back and I'll prove it to you. Or just cease and desist. Stop participating in this crap on the internet. Stop contacting me after you've lost your money, asking for my help to get your money back because you thought it was true because you didn't do the due diligence. That's why we charge for our time now, because it's bloody exhausting. I'd rather be talking to you at the top of the cliff saying, no, nothing to see here. If I'm wearing a Ponzi Patrol uniform and I'm dressed up like the modern policeman and I'm telling you something, should I be sitting here debating with you whether this is a scam or not? Because I'm only one individual and I'm trying to create as much awareness as I can to stop people losing their money to financial scams. Billions of dollars is lost every year because people trust their friend rather than somebody that's in the trenches fighting these scams. Look, it just goes on and on. Okay. So Brandon and Oz keep following the trail. So we see the smoking guns. We're after them. We're not giving up. So after confronting the scammer, who for some reason, I don't know how you did it, Brandon, but you managed to get Zimbabwe on a video, they would have, I'm sure the feds would have watched that video over and over again.
Brandon had been confronting Zimbardi since before the collapse, following wallets, interviewing victims and documenting promoters. Oz continued assembling the regulatory and corporate trail.
The
persistence matters because by the time federal authorities finally revealed the scale of their case in August 2026, there was already more than 3 years of contemporaneous material showing what had been said, what investors had been promised, what promoters had defended, and what investigators had warned about before and after the collapse.
You know what really gets me? I could watch this video now and tell you this guy is as guilty as sin. And it takes 3 years of him stealing 165 million, if not more, for them to act and shut this guy down and deport him. I mean, what's the world coming down to? Who the man ended up in Fiji? Who? The man who ended up in Fiji. So I think this is where he actually somehow tricked them into thinking he was going there for a holiday. He said he'd come back and he never did, if you want to read that paragraph. 65 million and the federal case. Unsealed federal case provides considerably more detail about the investigation alleged was opening behind CryptoProgram's advertising story. You can read all about it. I might just have a wee read of this wee paragraph here.
One unnamed victim allegedly invested $45,700. Investigators traced the victim's money into what they identify as TCP Wallet 3, a wallet that also received funds from other investors. The FBI alleges its analysis showed that part of the victim's investment was subsequently used to pay previous investors.
Oh my God, so there you go, the power of a $45,000 investor. Just like I showed you before, Crypto G, we show you where your money goes. That's what we do. If you've put serious money into a Ponzi scheme and you really are curious about what they're using your money for or what they claim that you're using your money for, here is $45,000 worth of investors' funds that the FBI, was it FBI? Yep, the FBI traced and come up with a conclusion what was happening to the money. It didn't have to be $165 million was used. It was $45,000. They looked into what that money was meant to be used, and they obviously found inconsistencies. Here's some other stats that
The
might help.
newly revealed affidavit also puts specific numbers against some of that alleged spending. According to the FBI, Zimbardi purchased a Georgia house for more than $433,000. His girlfriend purchased an $235,000 RV. More than $1.237 million was sent to Anthony Zimbardi during 2023, and nearly $400,000 was spent purchasing vehicles for Zimbardi's 4 children. Investigators also allege that his trust subsequently purchased another 2 vehicles for more than $300,000.
It looks like he's subtly trying to spend the money. Sound familiar? Remember Christopher Delgado's 12 sports cars? They all got repoed, repossessed and all that sort of stuff. They got $37,000 back for 12 sports cars. One of them was $600,000 that he decided to put a body kit on worth $300,000, will cost $300,000. And they finished up finding that his Rolls-Royce Ghost had $20,000 left, equity left in it. They're absolutely crazy. So the two unnamed co-conspirators, this could be interesting.
The indictment also refers to two unnamed co-conspirators, raising another question that will be worth following
Morris?
as this prosecution develops. Who were they, and what does the government allege they did?
Wow, how exciting. Well, let's see what they say.
There is also an important discrepancy in the public record. The Dodgers' August 17th press release stated that Zimbardi had been charged with 12 counts of wire fraud, 12 counts of money laundering and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy, 25 counts in total. BehindMLM's examination of the subsequently unsealed indictment reports 12 wire fraud counts, 9 transactional money laundering counts and 1 money laundering conspiracy count, 22 counts.
Yeah, I don't know why I put that in there, but it's in there. What Ed said when, the prosecutors say now. So this is basically what he was claiming and what eventuated. I don't think I need to read all that because, in my opinion, he was telling a bunch of lies, and he's probably got no way of talking his way out of this one now, because he'll have to prove, everything that he was offering. He's buggered basically. The ownership of the wallet, external revenue, anonymous operators, pretty cool. What remains to be seen, or maybe we can have a couple of read of these paragraphs. Let's have a listen.
Back in March 2023, Brandon Williams put a simple proposition to Ed Zimbardi. If CryptoProgram eventually ended in litigation, criminal charges and prison, Brandon believed.
That's right, remember that.
3 years later, Zimbardi has been deported from Fiji and returned to the United States to face federal wire fraud and money laundering charges arising from an alleged $165 million Ponzi scheme. The government still has to prove its case, and Zimbardi remains presumed innocent unless and until that happens. But the journey from that 2023 interview to this federal prosecution is difficult to ignore.
Yeah, so don't underestimate the power of you if you have invested any, like that $45,000 investment isn't the biggest one we're probably going to hear about. However, they've managed to gather a lot of intel and evidence just from that one transaction. And this is the other thing you want to bear in mind.
The FBI's Atlanta division is currently seeking people who invested in the CryptoProgram/AMCs. Potential victims are being asked to come forward so they can be identified for future proceedings and possible restitution.
Yeah, so that's basically a short version of the blog. And obviously, every time one of these guys get arrested, and with the 92% probability that he's going to do jail time, is sort of really, really cool. I'm always going after co-conspirators, and this guy doesn't steal $165 million from without anyone's help. So people like Scott Morris, I would be certainly concerned if I was him. So Scott Morris, I'm just going to go Scott Morris, and let's have a look and see where he comes up. Scott Morris. Let's see if we've got 5 words of Scott Morris. And because I saw Scott Morris in that list, I'm actually going to look for the best photo of Scott Morris, and we're going to do it together. We're going to make sure that these co-conspirators don't get away with it. So if I go to Scott Morris, and if I go to, let's have a look. Let's go to Zimbabwe, and let's see if we put those two names together, what happens. Nothing so far. Right, maybe I just need to take a nice greedy screenshot of that. I'm sure there will be a awesome photo somewhere, if not here, of Scott Morris. Nope. So I'm going to make it even better. We're going to go to Scott Morris, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to see what comes up. Oh, there we go. We might have a picture yet. No Scott Morris. I don't think we're going to be able to find him easily. Let's do a search for him on here. There he is. I love that photo. You gotta love that photo, don't you? Look at that there. That is a cram up. And I've already done a video about this earlier on, funny enough. Scott Morris. Right. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a wee trick of mine.
Let's look at Exhibit 22. Timestamp 3:58.
Hey, there was one more thing that I forgot to mention. So, our little faggot friend, Brandon, he thinks he's got a buddy in Jack Westrick. He thinks that they're buddies because they're going to take me down and all the other guys. And he thinks that he's really done something incredibly special here. What he doesn't realize is that he himself is under investigation now because he instigated this whole thing. And you know what? It's never a good idea to waste the government's time, right?
Oh my God.
And there is enough evidence that he knew a long time ago that this was all bullshit, and he ignored that evidence. And in addition to that, he's attempting to collect money from victims, supposed alleged victims, for his own purposes. So yeah, he could be in a little bit of hot water himself. It's going to be fun the way this unfolds.
Oh, well, how's it unfolding for you?
So Jack Westrick is the SEC investigator who's investigating CryptoProgram. Is that right?
I believe so.
You were subpoenaed by the SEC related to CryptoProgram, right?
Yes.
In that video that we just watched, you said what he doesn't realize is that he himself is under investigation because he instigated this whole thing. And you know what? It's never a good idea to waste the government's time. So who am I under investigation by?
I don't know.
So why did you say that I'm under investigation?
I believe that when I was at the federal building, I asked the question.
I'm just going to take a screenshot so I can include it, because what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of that. And we'll just listen to this for a second while I put this in place.
If I was under investigation, I asked the question if I believe if you were under investigation, and that comment there might have been, referring to something that I had heard or presumed to have heard at the testimony.
So is your testimony that the SEC told you that I was under investigation?
No, that's not my testimony at all.
Okay.
That's not what I said at all.
So why did you say that I'm under investigation?
I believed that you were that you are under investigation.
Based on what?
Based on lies that you've told about me and other people.
So much vindication now,
Isn't that what whistleblowers do sometimes? They embellish their case.
Oh, rubbish.
So I think that you've said enough. I'll just leave it at that. Huh?
Would you agree that I'm a whistleblower?
I think that's what you call yourself.
Brilliant.
Have you ever called me a whistleblower?
No.
You never told Judge Aho during a hearing that I'm a whistleblower?
You're a self-proclaimed whistleblower. I think I've used that term.
Well, he's a whistleblower now.
Have you ever seen any of the lawsuits that I've been mentioned in as, or some of my work has been cited in by regulatory agencies?
I've only seen the lawsuit where the guy in New Jersey is suing you for defamation, slander, and all sorts of other horrible things.
Yeah. So have you ever seen the SEC or NYAG lawsuits where they cited my work?
Objection, irrelevant. No, I haven't looked at it.
So your reason for stating I'm under investigation is just because you believe it. That's the only evidence that you have?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get that information from anywhere?
Not that I recall. Why wouldn't you be under investigation?
Yeah,
because you're a snitch, an FBI snitch.
Unreal way.
So how did I waste the government's time?
You wasted the government's time by instigating the testimony that I gave at the federal building, where there were 4 SEC attorneys and 4 or 5 CFTC attorneys. Must have cost the government, the taxpayer, a bundle to sit there for 5 hours and talk to me about something that everybody knows I wasn't involved in, except as an affiliate.
Oh my God, is that
so you promoted CryptoProgram, is that correct? Which is
I was an affiliate for CryptoProgram just like the 12,000 other people who were involved.
Were you the second largest affiliate in CryptoProgram?
I believe so.
Yeah, and so you think that I should be under investigation for wasting the government's time because I reported you to the SEC?
I don't think anything of the kind.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
No.
No. So you believe I'm under investigation for wasting the government's time, yes or no?
I believe that you should be under investigation for wasting the government's time, whether or not you are.
But you stated publicly that I was under investigation without knowing.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
I communicated to my group that you could be, should be, probably are, maybe are under investigation.
Maybe. I didn't say
so
maybe.
You believe I should be under investigation for reporting you to the SEC related to CryptoProgram? Was that your
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So again, please clarify why you think I should be under investigation.
Because you lie about me and a lot of other people, and you damage their business as a result. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. When you don't, you hurt a lot of people.
So what government agency should investigate me based on that?
I don't know, and I don't care. The only thing I care about is concluding this business between us.
Let's see. So you concluded that message that we just listened to by saying, and there is enough evidence that he knew a long time ago that this was all bullshit, and he ignored that evidence. In addition to that, he is attempting to collect money from victims, supposed alleged victims, for his own purposes. So yeah, he could be in a little hot water himself. It's going to be fun the way this unfolds. So you said there's enough evidence that I knew the investigation in the CryptoProgram was all bullshit and that I ignored it. What evidence specifically are you referring to?
I don't know.
What a scumbucket. But I mean, isn't it fantastic to be able to have your day in court and stick it to these guys and then get a federal charges laid against the guy that you've been going after for 3 years? You know, this brings joy to me and joy to my Avengers, but this is the type of outcome that anyone in my industry thrives against. We don't make shit up. We identify, you know, inconsistencies. We expose people who make claims that they can't substantiate, and we make it publicly available on our own dime, on our own time, and we take the risk that these guys don't drag us into the courtroom. I'm fortunate because I'm actually located in New Zealand, which makes it a lot harder for people to come after me if they want to threaten me with slap laws. This was recorded live, this recording, and I've cut a lot of bits of this recording out that you might be watching on the replay. But if you go to my live section on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've actually been, just this morning, I've been showing people the slap laws in New Zealand haven't been updated. And that's where wealthy people will throw money at you until you can't actually defend yourself. There's no real laws about it in New Zealand, so they have to go after you as defamation, but they're actually called slaps. And it's a horrible thing to have happen when anyone thinks they have the right. CoffeeZilla's the same. He's been Logan Paul. They've just settled out of court. I know this disposition was settled out of court for Brandon as well. I don't know what the outcome of it was. You have to, you know, and a lot of this stuff is suppressed in the media where you can't talk about it after it's been dealt with. But anyway, what we can publicise is the fact that when these indictments come in and people have been arrested and charged, and now they have to do the other end of it, take them through the court system. The nice thing about Ed, he might have driven a few flash cars. He may have lived in a few nice properties. He may have divvied up some of the money to his friends and family who really knew what was going on. But now, how would you be sleeping at night if you were associated with Ed's family or anyone Ed's associated with? I think it's Scott Morris. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Bad luck? bad business opportunity, got involved with the wrong people, I'm only an affiliate, or the feds may look at it as a differently than that. Look, guys, that's my video. Hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, but I should have a wee look before I disappear. Tomorrow, we will be investigating or doing a broadcast on Novacast TV. So hopefully we won't get interrupted. But on the 26th, I have an investigation on Novacast TV, who claim they're trying to tap into a $300 billion industry and take on Netflix with their illegal IP TV cards, where no one can get them working, where affiliates are publicly exposed with their details, and we're going to expose those people for what they're really doing. So if you're an affiliate and you think that you can be an affiliate and you don't have to get involved, then listen to today's broadcast. Ed claimed he was an affiliate. What's going to happen to Scott B, whatever his name is, because he claims that he's just an affiliate as well. And then we find out the real truth when the federal investigations start happening. See you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to donate in any which way or form to help me sustain the lifestyle I've become accustomed. You can use that that way there. You can use that wee orange thing there. Go to Ko-Fi and you can donate. Any donations much appreciated. We'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Danny the Heck, and we are the Avengers.